Hey guys, what's up? It's Murder Birds here. It's not. Okay, hi. Can anybody see us? Are we alive? Is anybody out there?
Are we alive? Not are we live.
Not are we alive. Are we alive? Hello?
So everyone, welcome to the RWBY Volume 8, Episode 14
Therapy session.
Therapy session. Hi, I'm Hunter and my heart was broken. Hi, Hunter. Right, so I thought that normally RWBY gives me joy, and this episode was certainly very good. However, it also ripped my still beating heart from my chest.
That is true.
And it made me look at it. And it looked a little bit like Penny dying.
Oh dear. Okay guys, yay, we are live. Woohoo. Okay, slow mode is on. Monetization is not on. That's not good. I better fix that. I better figure out how to fix that, or else we're not gonna, or else our stuff's not gonna work. Okay, yeah. Hey guys, hey everybody. I know we're all in mourning. Yes, I'm just posting the. Yes, I'm just posting.
How casual! Imagine if you were like.
I'm just posting the stream on Twitter, so don't mind me.
Imagine if you were like a funeral.
And monetization's back on. There
if
we
you
go.
Were
Hi.
If you were a funeral director and during a funeral you're like, hello everyone, I know you're grieving, but.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm just posting the stream on Twitter as usual. Lots of problems. I just have problems with that for some reason. I don't know why. Okay, hi guys.
I wore the Good Vibes shirt because I thought today was going to be good vibes.
It was not.
It was not good vibes.
Is Arnold here?
I wore the wave earrings because I knew I was going to cry.
Arnold's not here. I think you guys are making a joke about how I was like, hey guys, murder a bird. Hey guys, it's murder a bird.
What you didn't see is that Cal prefaced that joke by looking up one of Arnold's videos to see how he starts, and then like, Hunter, I'm going to make a joke. And then your joke was just repeating it. I was like, oh, there goes Cal.
Well,
they're so proud of themselves.
I didn't know, I couldn't remember Arnold's, thingy. I can't remember how he starts his videos, so I had to look it up.
I guess you just don't love him enough.
Yeah, so Dar, we're not doing the Patreon link because, like, apparently YouTube could think that that was a little spammy, so I'm just gonna periodically, if you guys could just periodically remind people to check the description, that would probably be better than the links. I am just posting the things on the Twitter. Our RWBY, I'm gonna type this tweet out loud to you guys.
Sure.
The reason why I have to do this when we start streaming is because we can't get the link until we start streaming, and I don't know why. I don't know who decided that. So if you guys are wondering why we have to do this every time, our RWBY live discussion is starting right now! Exclamation point. Hashtag RWBY spoilers.
Hashtag crop me
RWBY
crying in the club.
RWBY 8 spoilers.
Hashtag RWBY support group.
Spoilers. Our RWBY live discussion is starting right now, or should I say the RWBY group therapy
Dar asked if
session.
we saw their meme. Is it
the Kingdom Hearts one? Because we saw that, Dar.
And I saw it and I fucking laughed. I was on the floor.
And Hunter
I was
doesn't even
hysterical.
like Kingdom Hearts. So.
Yeah, you know, you're not wrong, actually. You're not wrong at all.
Yes, I did see the meme. I thought that was
But
very
the
funny.
timing was
It was
like,
the, and then the music.
waves come in.
Okay, so I'm done with my phone.
Okay.
Thank fucking God.
We
Okay,
missed
why
a
don't we
super
actually
chat.
show, yes
We
I
missed a
did.
super chat.
You are right, Hunter. Okay.
Yes.
Whoa, Hunter looks ruined. Yeah. Very sad.
Okay, I don't know if that's a slight against my appearance or
Hello,
emotionally.
I'm sad. I'm so sorry, Aaron. It's gonna be okay. Don't worry. Okay, so Stock
Blood Matter Grace.
Grace said, "Hi, I'm in pain. How are y'all?"
Also in pain.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
We're in pain.
I'm okay with it.
We're in pain.
I'm upset when a character dies and it makes no sense.
Yeah.
But this like severely hurt.
I think that it hasn't fully set in, if that makes sense. Like, it's sort of hard to explain, but I just feel like that it hasn't just set in. You know, like, I didn't cry in my reaction or anything. Like, I didn't cry in the reaction or something. It just, I don't know, it doesn't feel real. But I'm sure as we talk about it, I'm gonna get a little, I'm gonna get more sad. I was sad during the reaction, but it didn't hit, right?
Penny, it was like incredibly shocking when she died, but then the scene where she meets Winter, that's where for me it felt like, oh, the tears are coming.
Yeah. All we know is pain, guys. So yeah, guys, slow mode is on. I will be like looking at the chat, so even if you don't send it super chat, like, I'm looking. But if you want us to read out your stuff, sending us a super chat's probably a good idea, because I have a feeling that this is going to be crazy. Like, I watched Arnold's stream last night, and, like, the amount, like, the chat was just going at a mile a minute. I kind of feel like that's gonna happen here. And so, yeah, make sure to send us a super chat if you guys want us to read it out loud, but I will be checking the chat. You guys should also check out the Patreon, because our reaction's up on there, and if you become a YouTube membership member at the Royal Advisor tier, you can see our reaction. So you guys have to, like, check that, basically, or do that. Oh, God. Okay, Winter, thank you so much for that $100.
Money.
Yeah, the Schnee money. Winter, I am so excited to talk to you. So if you guys don't know, Winter is one of the mods in my Discord. I am so excited to talk to them and, like, talk to them about all the Winter stuff. Like, obviously, they're here right now. But to talk about them, like, not face-to-face, but, like, in our VIP discussion call that we do on Friday. Like, I'm really, really excited. Thank you so much, Winter. Yeah, check on Arnold, tell him to hydrate. Yeah, I love what they did with Winter's character this episode. Like, I am such a filthy simp for Winter Schnee. Did Ruby really have to hit us with the 1-2 punch of killing Penny and then making the ending song about Penny?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I would like to do a song analysis, like, of the song. Just, we aren't going to talk about it here just because, like, I think we have enough on our plate. We'll make a separate video, like, analyzing the lyrics, but I think that song is just, like, everything. Like, that song is just everything. I feel like it's so good.
Yeah, oh god. It was weird because the first time I heard it, it's very upbeat.
Yeah, we were
poppy.
like, why is this happy?
Okay.
But when you think about it from Penny's perspective, I think it's like she was just happy to live.
But you really had to give us the song about how happy Penny is to live and how much she loves her friend right when she dies.
Yeah.
Like it's just...
Yeah.
My soul.
Yeah.
Oh, God. You know what the worst part is? I bought that goddamn Penny shirt.
Yeah, so, like, okay, so the Rooster Teeth store released some really nice merch, and we bought it, and now Penny's dead, and it's kind of sad.
So, but the thing, we didn't want to do a normal...
Yeah, I'm satisfied, too. That's the thing.
Yeah, we'll get to that more. But we weren't going to do a yes or pass where we just look at the website.
Yeah, we bought everything, so we were going to wear it. And we still will. Like, we're still going to.
Do that, but I just feel like when I open it up, I'm going to cry. Because even when I asked you to order that thing for me, I was like, God damn it. She's going to die, and I'm going to carry around this...
Well, we'll talk about them killing Penny, because some people think that was reductive. Like, some people think, like, oh, why did they make her human just to kill her? But I think that makes her sacrifice overall more impactful. And so we will talk about that, but it's just a matter of, like, getting there. We have to get there, so... We'll get there when we get there. Somebody tagged me, and I'm like, what? Okay. Oh, mod Winter! We have to mod Winter. I forgot. Okay, hold on. I forgot to mod Winter, because... well, I mean, there is no because I just forgot.
Cloud in a super chat asked if we were excited to see Salem again. I was genuinely surprised that we saw Salem throughout the episode. I thought that would end up being the post-credit scene. I think that...
Winter Schnee is now a moderator. Thank you, Winter.
I think that in the past, the post-credit scenes have been longer.
Yeah.
And
that was still good, though. That gave
us
a little taste.
But I feel like
a little spice,
just with like the confines of what they had, like we thought we would see like the end world, but I thought we would see like RWBY Fall or like.
Well, I sort of told you this that it would be vague.
Yeah,
I did say that, so.
I mean, I think I had the vague idea of you wouldn't see them fall. You would just hear a gunshot, and it would be some woman picking flowers.
Yeah, well, that was if the Summer Maiden was in there, but I don't think that the Summer Maiden's probably in there anymore.
Yeah.
Penny dead, heart shattered, Hotel Travago. Thank you, Aaron, for the $2 super chat. Oh, man. Yeah, do you guys like my eyeshadow? My sister helped me, because she's like, Cal, those aren't blended, and I'm like, I don't think you can blend them. They're so... different colors.
That's one thing. I'm not gonna lie, it's an interesting look, but now that I'm looking at red, yellow, black,
it's kind of like if you
together,
did Team Coffee, it would be more cohesive or something like that.
It's just such different colors that it's a weird mixture.
Where's Maria and Pietro? Maria's dead? No.
I think they just forgot about Pietro and Maria.
I don't think think the writers forgot. I think that they're, you know...
I have a couple theories about maybe what happened.
We'll talk about it.
I feel like we're gonna do a video of like, where in the world is Maria and Petro?
The class, the chat is saying,
the class! Hello, students!
Hello, students! Okay, the chat is saying that thing that you said, I think, the Yggdrasil. Yggdrasil. So Hunter was saying that.
It's the tree of life in Norse mythology. And it also makes sense because in Norse mythology, it's the tree that keeps the world up, and this is in an alternative, a different universe, like a mirror universe, and maybe that
We're gonna talk about that.
Maybe it's like the shadow world.
Okay.
I don't know, of Remnant.
Now, why don't we... Okay, hello. Thoughts on the Grim Eclipse Switch port? That's actually a very good question, Chewy. Thank you for the $2 super chat. So, Hunter and I have been so busy, like, well, Hunter hasn't... I mean, you've been busy, I'm sure.
I've been busy with school
so swamped by Miraculous. Like, when the RWBY news came out, I was like...
Well,
like, I was just like, that's another... Because Miraculous Ladybug, I don't know if you guys know or follow Miraculous, they released 4 different promo trailers. And I had to analyze all of them. And that'll come out tomorrow, but, like, it's been a lot. Like, Miraculous has just been insane. So I saw it. I'm, like, really happy that Grim Eclipse is not forgotten. And I'm really interested in, like, stuff like couch co-op. Because that was something, like, I don't know. If you guys have been around for, like, a really long time, you'll remember that we used to do our videos playing Grim Eclipse. And that was our video. Like, we would talk, and then the footage of Grim Eclipse would be over our video, right? So if you guys have been around for a while, you remember that.
Back when we did Volume 4.
But we were never able to play together because there was no, like, couch co-op, I don't think. There was no, like, multiplayer. Like, you couldn't play with another person in your room. There wasn't local co-op. So that's kind of fun that they put in local co-op, and then there's some, like, new outfits and stuff like that. I'm excited for it.
The Genlock kind of inspired outfits.
Yeah, Genlock inspired. I thought that was funny.
It is super weird. I love the memes that come out of it, like how Weiss's face is blocked by the Nintendo logo.
Yes. Oh boy.
Everyone thinks RWBY and Weiss are going to be in in a Smash, which, like, no way in hell is that going to happen.
Oh god.
As cool as that would be.
Okay, Logan, thank you for the $15 super chat. Everything that was needed to be wrapped up was done so beautifully. It was an excellent parallel to the Volume 3 finale, considering that it was meant to originally fall on the same date as the Volume 3 finale. I agree. Like, a lot of people were like, how are they going to wrap this up? And I was like, well, really, there's only 3 things to wrap up. Team RWBY falling, Ironwood versus Winter, and the bomb. And they did all that. So, because people were like, oh, they have to do the stuff in Vacuo and they need to do this. No, they don't. Because Vacuo is next volume, so they can leave that open-ended, like what happened with Ren, Oscar, and Nora and stuff. RWBY's weapon was in the sand, same as the intro. I actually did take a screenshot of that. I was going to talk about that. Patrick, thank you for the $10, and thank you, Monkey, for the $2 super chat. Thank you, Patrick, for the $10 super chat. Consider RWBY, Weiss, Blake, Yang, but RWBY could also mean Raven, Winter, B ? Fall, and then Y ? Summer. Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah, a new RWBY team.
So, like, basically, like, RWBY has a parallel. Like, Raven is the R, Winter is the W, and then B, maybe Cinder's real last name could be a B, and then, like, Y. Well, actually, no, well, okay, so the problem is, so we think that Star, Sun's cousin, is the maiden, but I think that her last name also starts with an S, and so that wouldn't work. It is a cool idea, though, but I don't know. It
would be unfortunate. Oh, I guess, no, her last name might be Wukong?
No, it's not. It's, Sang Zan, or something.
Oh.
It's different than Sun, because they're just cousins. They're not siblings, right? If you have ever watched Avatar Korra, no, I haven't. But yeah, like the dream, this person saying the dream world, but we were sort of thinking like the Avatar world situation as well. And so yeah, thank you for the £5. I
guess £5.
Is that a pound super chat?
Believe, yeah.
From Weta. Oh, Creative Cloud, thank you. Please leave us alone. We're busy. Creative Cloud was just like, it's time to update. RWBY 8 Spoilers is trending on Twitter. That's actually pretty good. Creative Cloud. Go. Why is Adobe trying to... Anyway.
Adobe's ruining
We haven't been able to start the stream. What have we even been doing for the past 14
We've just been talking and answering questions when people give us money.
Yes. And so,
I love that shot of the whale. I love how it's disintegrating slowly.
Yeah. I think that this was great. Just because, like, as soon as I saw the shot of the whale, I'm like, there's no other reason they would show this unless we're seeing Salem. And I think that this is also probably confirmation that Hazel's dead, because the only two theories I had was, one, Salem would use Hazel's dead body as, like, a vessel for another hound, like, implant some silver eyes in Hazel, but there's no indication of Hazel being around here when Salem's regenerating.
Yeah.
And then two, the other thing I thought is that somehow, because they both died at the same time, Hazel would merge with Salem in some way, and she would have big hulking muscles, and that didn't happen. So, I feel like, at this point, we can probably say for certainty that Hazel's dead.
So let's go over, like, all the people who have died.
Well, okay, here's the thing about Hazel. Okay, here's the thing. I feel like that one criticism I would have of this particular volume is that they made some of the deaths very, like, instructions unclear. Like, you know what I mean? Like, for Hazel, for example, like, yeah, we were pretty sure that he was dead. But we didn't feel the full impact of his sacrifice because he just turned into dust and went away. Yeah. Like, we didn't even see him turn into dust like how Pyrrha disintegrated. We just saw a bright light and then he disappeared. So it's like, I don't know if it's just me, but I have, like, object permanence. Like, you know what I mean? Like, say I have a favorite pencil, okay? And I just lose that pencil one day. Like, I don't feel sentimental about that pencil because it's, like, out of sight, out of mind. If it's something that, you know, I felt for, like, a long time, like, you know, a very sentimental item, like a teddy bear or something like that. But for me, a lot of things, and even people, sorry, but even people, it's, like, out of sight, out of mind. Like, I feel like that's a big ADHD thing, too, I've heard, is, like, that object permanence or whatever. I don't know what you call it, but, I was thinking about that because, like, after high school, like, I had some other friends in high school other than Hunter, but, like, I didn't really, like, care to stay in contact with them because as soon as I transitioned in my new life in university, it was like, oh, well, you're out of sight, out of mind, right? And so, I feel that way. Well, Hunter and I kept in contact because we're best friends, but, like, I feel like with Hazel's just the friend that you slowly drifted apart with who's out of sight, out of mind. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, it didn't register that Hazel ever died to me.
I just think that he died so quickly. It's the same way that Jock died so quickly. It's not
so
like
I didn't register Hazel's death, like, in my emotions or in, like, my body. You know? I don't know. That's just me. But yeah, like, even Watts in Ironwood, like, Watts, we kind of saw him, like, choked to death, and so I'm pretty sure Watts is dead, but even Ironwood doesn't feel dead. So that's, like, my only criticism of the volume is that whenever we've gotten to death in the show, it's always been so crystal clear, like Adam, Vernal, right? Think about those types of characters. Clover, even though people have feelings about Clover, but I'm saying in terms of, like, characters dying, this volume they went for something a little different where it's like you don't see Jacques' body, you just see him be a poof. But, like, is him being a poof as, like, impactful? Because I know that logically Jacques is dead, but I don't know. It's kind of hard for me. It's kind of hard. I don't know. We all need therapy? Yes. I think that's something no one has talked about, but I think that we should know. We don't know if Jin's 100-year deal starts after the third question or cycles. Actually, we did say that in our last discussion, and people got on my ass because they say that they all are in a clump. So every 100 years, like, the timer starts after you ask the last question, but we had that exact same idea as you. Like, we thought, oh, what if that first question was asked 99 years ago? We thought the exact same thing, and people, like, dragged us. But Watts' death is horrifying, exactly. I felt it for Watts. For Ironwood, not so much, because he just got...
Ironwood is just, it's kind of like the same thing with Jacques. The fact that Jacques just gets smoked by someone, it was kind of anticlimactic, but it worked for him.
I think that Watts really worked because that's, like, a horrifying way to go. Yeah, I agree. Thank you, Diedrich, for becoming a part of the Calxiyn Royal Cart. At the Elite Noble members, you guys will see the reaction on Wednesday early. So keep that in mind, that you need to be the Royal Advisors tier to see the reaction today. Hi, Arnold. Yes. We're getting so distracted. Like, we're talking about, well, I guess we started talking about Hazel, right?
Yeah.
So I guess Hazel's just dead. Anyway, back over here. I think that the fight scenes were really good. They were a little fast. I think to truly enjoy the animation of them, like, I slowed them down a lot just to see, like, faces and things. This was cool. Look how cool Winter is, guys.
Can I talk one thing that kind of annoyed me about this fight, though?
Sure.
Is that I don't believe that, like, I don't find it believable or realistic that Ironwood would be a credible threat to Winter.
Okay.
I think the only way that works is if Winter is holding back because she doesn't want to kill him.
Yeah.
I think maybe character-wise that works, but, like, after how they kind of set up in his fight with Watts, that he's not exactly like a badass or like an incredibly great fighter.
Yeah.
I think that Winter, who's like constantly trained and constantly like sharp and always fighting, should just like wipe the floor with them.
I would agree. It's kind of hard because like somebody gave me, I don't remember what they said exactly, but somebody gave me a good explanation for why Ironwood should, you know, square up and sort of rival like Winter pretty well, and I was like, oh yeah, that's a good explanation, but now I don't remember what they said. So I don't remember the reason, but I see it both ways. Like that Watts, maybe we were just underestimating Watts a little. Maybe. I don't know. I understand what you mean. I think really it's just about Ironwood's like strength in terms of like maybe his stubbornness, and then maybe also his robot body and the fact that he's like, I don't know, in his gut. Maybe it's more in the weaponry.
Yeah.
Because when you think about it, Winter is range and Ironwood is kind of range with his guns. But at the same time, like, they both need to get close to each other. Like, Ironwood has to stand still and do the green thing, and then Winter has to get in close. Like, you know what I mean? So it's a mixture of fighting styles that kind of contradict each other in a way, and so I don't know how else to explain it. I agree with Hunter. It's the power of the gun. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Thank you, Destiny. This episode hurt me so much. I paid for the Patreon. Thank you so much, Destiny, for becoming a patron. I hope that you enjoy our reaction. Yeah, Winter should have been able to defeat Ironwood quicker. Yeah, like, I don't know. Watts had field advantage. That's true.
Yeah.
Watts was hacking. I think that was the reason. I think that now I'm remembering. That's what someone said to me, that a big part of why Watts could, like, hold his own against Ironwood was because he was manipulating and hacking. I think that actually, like, does make sense.
But even, like, physicality-wise, I remember afterwards Ironwood was, like, a panting mess.
If Ironwood didn't have a laser, then Winter wouldn't have then Winter would have had an even harder time dodging the blast. Yeah, I don't know.
That's true. Almost.
It's hard. Like, it's hard to say, just because you also have to think of, like, Ironwood in his prime. Like, sure, he's a general now, but, like, once he was a soldier, and once he was a huntsman, and once he was an Aesop. So to get where he is today, does logic not dictate that he should have had Winter's strength at one time?
Maybe at one time,
right?
But I think he's a little rusty now.
Yeah, I mean, he's old, but, like, that's like Crow. But I'm basically saying,
but
like,
Crow's
for
still
him,
in the field.
For him to even get into the position that he is in, he must have, like, at one time had Winter's strength.
Sure.
Is, I guess, what I'm saying.
And the gun, and the power of the gun.
Thank you, Devil Blight, for the $5 super chat. Cinder, enjoy the Ruby Red Wedding. Oh, man. Also, I think they fell into Avalon, Ambrosius Merlin. I really like that. I honestly think that it's not going to be a set location, but rather, like, we're going to get the Wonderland, we're going to get the Avalon, we're going to get the Norse mythology, we're going to get Oz. I don't think it's only one answer. It's probably going to be a synthesization of a bunch of different items, basically. A bunch of different fairy tales, hacks. Yeah, Watsie's hacks. Yeah, exactly.
I love how, like, we found out that, like, the place where the relic is stored was not on Remnant. Like, in volume, like, 5 at the end. I think Carrie or someone tweeted confirming it. And we really didn't consider the ramifications of that until like,
a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah, and it was a totally different context, the ramifications then.
Because you were thinking about the cane and stuff. But yeah, I feel Dragon Continent being the Wonderland, I don't know about that, just because we do know that people have tried to go on Dragon Continent. And so I really feel like it's going to be like another world. And actually, I think that it's going to be, I know that we'll get here, and, like, maybe I shouldn't get ahead of myself, but I could really see it as being, like, a mixture of the afterlife, but also, like, if you guys have watched Soul, in, like, The Great Before? It's basically, like, where souls go before they go to Earth. And so I'm thinking that it's gonna be basically like a dual, like basically two, like it's gonna be the afterlife but also the before, right? And I know that sounds weird, but here's what I'm thinking. There's this thing in the RWBY books of Sun. He's like, I don't know, he's like a kid and his clan is in danger and he's like, well, I wish people from our clan would learn how to fight, and he's like angry about it, and so he goes to sleep and he has this dream and this vision of this big tree. And then he wakes up and he has his semblance for the first time. Like, that's the whole thing, is that he saw the vision from the tree and then he unlocked his semblance.
Imagine if that's like where all like aura and all semblance.
So yes, that's
from.
exactly where I was getting
God.
to. The reason why I'm saying like great before is because like think about like, I don't know if semblances are necessarily born with you. Like some people say that they develop based on personality and stuff. But I'm thinking like as a human is born, they are given an aura and they're given a semblance at least deep down. What that semblance will become maybe isn't decided. But Sun had a dream of the tree because the tree world is implicitly connected to the remnant world because it like all of the semblance come from that tree sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I think that based off of the RWBY book, if that tree is sort of the same tree, it's not only like an afterlife thing, but it's also basically a semblance world. It's also the great before as well. Let's just check the chat really fast.
I like the idea that it is just a magical world in general.
Yeah, magical world. Exactly.
That may or may not have the souls of deceased RWBY characters in there.
You guys may think like, oh, why would they put something that important in the book? But it's like, it's a hint.
Yeah.
Right? It's not like a major plot point yet. Like, I'm sure they'll explain it when they get there. It's just a hint. Like, it's just a taste, right?
I wonder what the pitch meeting was like when they were like, and then they fall into Neverland.
I really like this. Winter, do not blame me. Bang. See, so like that's the thing is that they're both like so far away from each other. It's really like touch and go, right? They're basically like weaving like out of each other's way. I've sacrificed everything, and so I really like this conversation. No, you have sacrificed everyone else, and I really like that. And Hunter said that as we were recording, actually, like right before she said that line, because I think that's so true, right? You close the borders, and that goes all the way back to like the Jacques stuff, right? And I love how Jacques and Ironwood have been like implicitly, like sort of inherently connected this whole time, and then he ends up killing him. Like, I feel like that was really good. You closed the borders, you squeezed Mantle until it broke. True. Very true. And, you know, now we're in the place that we are now. When did he have this dream? He had it as a kid. Like, he had it when he was a kid. It's part of his backstory. Like, basically, like, before he unlocked his semblance, and then he unlocked his semblance. And so, yeah, he has the dream. He doesn't have the dream in the modern timeline, if that's what you're wondering. Like, he had the dream because he saw Team RWBY. Like, it wasn't that. It was he saw the tree as a kid. But I think that that's interesting, because, like, what if that's the tree communicating with the people of Remnant, in a way?
Yeah, the vision.
Kinda
That could
cool.
be interesting.
And it's funny how that comes from Sun, who, like, just, you know, fucking Sun. Right?
Not a, like, terribly significant RWBY character, and he drops this really important piece of lore in a dream.
Oh, boy. Yeah, Jean, Relic of Destruction. I guess we'll talk about that sometime. Yeah, Jean did lose his sword, so it'd be kind of funny if he had the Relic of Destruction as his new little sword.
I hadn't considered that. At least he still has his shield. You can do something with that.
Now I'm thinking about how this fight would have gone if Winter didn't get the powers. It seemed kind of close, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know how I feel.
You don't know
about that.
if you believe that is what you're saying?
I don't believe that. It has to be some other excuse or reason behind it, i.e. she was holding back and didn't want to just straight
I really like how Ironwood is just like, I've done everything for for Remnant and no one's grateful. Like, I feel like he's just like this dad who doesn't realize that just because you take your kids to McDonald's on your divorce weekend, like, it doesn't mean that you're a good dad or a present father figure. Ironwood's like the one that's taking their kids to like Chuck E. Cheese on the weekend and being like, no one is grateful. I did it for you. Thank you, D. Anthony, for the $5 super chat. Cinder Sip all alone again. Her turn on Watts was the cherry on top. You deserve this, Arthur.
Oh,
I know.
God,
I want to talk about that
so much.
bad. Like, oh my God, everything with Watts, like, holy shit, bro. I'm so sad.
I still simp for Cinder.
Yeah, I simp for Cinder too.
She's not getting redeemed. Neo might get redeemed.
I think that they've done something really interesting with Cinder's character, because a lot of people see this as a step back, but I don't see it that way at all. I think that she's just gotten better at manipulating people. She's gotten better at being a little Salem, basically. She didn't have that before. Salem promises people, you know, what they want in exchange for help, and then discards them, right? Thank you, Alex, for joining at the Elite Nobles tier. Remember remember, if you want to see the reaction today, it will be the Royal Advisor tier, but the Elite Nobles tier will see the reaction on Wednesday. So remember, if you guys want to see our reaction early, that is how it goes. Yes. I hate Cinder more than anything now. I think that they've done so good stuff, like such good stuff with Winter. Wait, not with Winter, with Cinder. With Cinder. With Winter.
Hate her. But I hate her, but I do love her. Yes. She's a good villain.
Exactly. I think that you want to hate. I hate her now as wanting to hate her instead of hating her because I didn't like her. I hope that that makes sense. Yeah. I hate her because I like what they did with her. Yes. I don't hate her because her character is bad or I don't like her backstory or whatever.
You hate her because she's doing her job.
Exactly. She's doing her job now. Mm-hmm. She's smart now. Mm-hmm. Very nice. So
this was a very action-heavy episode.
I know, and I loved it. And it went by so fast, like quick of the eye, but now actually seeing how the characters move in slow motion is really fascinating.
I feel bad for the people that are still running for like
I know, they must be like, what the fuck is happening here? Oh man. So I really liked this because a lot of people were like, oh, why didn't Weiss use the Lancer? But like it takes time for her to summon stuff. And so now she actually had the time to summon it, right? Thank you, Josh, for the $5 super chat. Cinder learned the friendship is power lesson in the most twisted way possible. Exactly. Yeah. Kinda. Don't make allies, procure tools. Salem would be proud. Exactly, and I love that. I really, really love that for Cinder's character. I think that that's actually great. Poor Jean is gonna get PTSD. Oh, boy.
Yeah, I could see that, honestly.
But yeah, I really like this scene. But I'm like, why didn't Weiss just fly in there? But here's the thing. So a lot of people may say like, oh, well, why didn't Weiss just put Penny through the Vacuo portal? The problem is one, people were still evacuating, and two, if they had put Penny through the portal, Cinder would have just followed and could have killed the refugees there. So ideally, in the ideal world, they could have fought off Cinder, everyone could have evacuated, and then they could have closed the portal with Cinder inside if they had the upper hand. But I think the criticism of, well, why didn't they just throw Penny through the thing? Like, Cinder would not have stopped. Cinder would have just gone to Vacuo, and that would have been a big mess. You could argue that with everyone in Vacuo, they could have taken Cinder down, but at the same time, like, Ren's spent, Nora's, like, you know what I mean? The Happy Huntresses are probably spent. Like, everyone's just spent, right? No, why didn't Weiss save Yang? Because she takes time to summon. She doesn't just poof, like it doesn't just poof. You know what I mean? She takes, like, we've seen this in the past, but she takes a couple minutes to summon stuff like her sword. That's why a lot of the time only the sword comes out of the armored Gigas, because, like, the rest of him's still in there, but he can't, like, you know what I mean? He can't go up.
I also like how... in fairness, I think that Weiss was kind of separated from Yang at the time. I like how this fight felt like all over the place, and you were really constantly thinking like, okay, what Nora's doing, and the not knowing almost created a sort of anxiety in me watching it. Not that I need reasons to be anxious watching RWBY.
I saw something in the chat, but I'll answer this first. I'm confused how Neo went back since the one-way ticket to Vacuo thing. She went through a mantle portal and then came back through the mantle portal. She didn't go through the big portal. I thought that too, and I was like, oh fuck, Neo's trapped in Vacuo. But no, she just went through one of the small ones and then she bounced back in. Sean's now a murderer, technically. You guys are so bad. That's not nice.
Technically.
That's not
he is assisted suicide.
Oh, yeah, so, somebody asked if this is confirmation that the maidens get to choose, but we always knew that. It was last thoughts. So, Penny chose Winter to be in her last thoughts and then passed it down that way. So it was kind of like special, but I'm assuming that's also how the other ones sort of work as well. Yeah. RWBY, we're still waiting for those silver eyes. Well, here's the thing. RWBY tried to activate her silver eyes once last episode, and then once this episode. But she needs to, like, focus and stay still. And so RWBY tried to do it, but she wasn't able to do it in time. So that was the problem. So she did try to use her silver eyes, and you see that when Cinder is standing over them. She, you know, her and Neo are hanging over the edge, and she tries to activate them, but, like, her focus is broken. And so I think that what people are missing with that criticism is that people are like, oh, RWBY's silver-eyed warrior powers are gonna make her too OP, but they've purposefully put in a hindrance, and the hindrance is you need to stay completely still, and it's like a computer booting up. It'll take at least like 10 seconds, right?
And she needs to learn to get good at it. Like, it appeared as though Maria could do it on demand.
Exactly, and so that's the thing, and so I feel like that people, I don't know, it's so funny how if Yang was saved, people would have said that there's no stakes in the show, but or like if RWBY had done the Silver Eyes, they would say that that's too overpowered, but then the opposite happens and people still have something to complain about. Like, I feel like that if people will complain at either outcome, then their opinion is invalid, because at that point, they're just looking for, like, if they saved Yang, people would complain. If they didn't save Yang, people would complain, like, at this point. Or if she used the eyes, if she doesn't use the eyes, like, I feel like at that point, there's not really much you can do anymore. Thank you, Monkey, for the $5 super chat. I know a powerful villain is scary, but a villain that learns is scarier. Exactly, and that Cinder is learning! Crazy, very crazy. Oh my god, we almost have 800 people in the stream. That has never happened to me before.
And we are like 3 minutes into this episode.
I know, we're like not. You're
man.
right, Hunter. Oh god. Yeah, it's not like spamming, not silver-eyed spam, you know? Like they can't do that. Okay, so priority 1, and then, you know, they go help, right?
Get the civilians in.
Exactly. Weiss, all she's ever wanted is the maiden power. I can buy you all time. So here's the first indication of Penny being willing to sacrifice herself.
Well, second, because we also got that scene when Penny was hacked of Penny telling RWBY to kill her.
Exactly. And so, like, this has been foreshadowed for the entire volume. Penny said, kill me and I'll make sure the powers go to you. Kill me, Weiss, and I can buy you all time. She's done this like 4 times already. Okay, so chat is saying, I need you and Hunter to answer, what's the point of making Penny human only to kill her off? Yeah, so we have an explanation for that. Yeah. We'll talk about it, but we'll talk about it later, because I don't think that it's actually a waste of character development, and it actually makes her sacrifice more impactful. So we'll get there, but not right now. But yeah, we'll get there, but don't worry. I totally disagree with the criticism that it undermines her character development. It fits perfectly with her character development, so I think that that's kind of weird. But yeah, and so like this is, like, she has done this so many times, so I don't know why.
Oh wow, that was an interesting cut.
Well, I mean, yeah, because Cinder just blew them up, right? Oh man, and so they just smack. Yeah, what?
Oh no, for a second I thought that was Penny's front.
I wonder who's that poor person that is on the
straggling
ramp down there. Oh man. Lord. Yeah, she wanted to surrender to Salem.
I'm sorry. Exactly. Are people just like standing there?
Well, I think
this isn't a fucking line,
they're
guys.
probably like orderly fashion thing, you know. But they can't all go; they'd stampede each other, right? So Jean's probably
surely
there,
more people can.
Or the happy huntresses would be like, okay, guys, single file line, and also you have to think if everyone kept going without moving, you would squish people when you come out the other side, right? Like, think about I go through the portal, and then you're just standing here, and I fall on top of you, right? They need to, like, you know?
I'm just saying, like, realistically, they probably would stampede on each other.
Exactly. So I'm saying, like, at least now the happy huntresses are, like, single file line, everyone.
It also
thank
looks
you,
like...
Blood Matter, for the $20 super chat. Again, thank you so much. People do hate watch the show, something I will never understand. Can we just go on a little detour for a little bit? So, I don't want to talk about the Promised Neverland too much, okay? Hunter's probably fucking sick of me talking about the Promised Neverland, but, I started to understand why people watch stuff even though they don't like it, because I kept watching Promised Neverland as it train crashed and fell off the mountain into the ocean. And so I understand it now. Like, it's a very weird feeling, because on one hand, like, I am so sad, and like, I know this is so over dramatic, like, anime watchers probably feel this all the time, but like, I have never been burned by an anime that I got invested in. Like, I have never invested in something, anything. Like, I have never invested in a show and then grown to dislike it, personally. I pick the stuff I watch very carefully, I guess. Like, we have watched shows we don't like Food Wars or Fire Force, but after the 3rd episode, we're like, no, right? So to invest yourself in something for a long time, like Neverland, right? For me, it was only 1 season. Imagine if somebody's been watching RWBY for 5 years characters and then suddenly they don't like where things are going. It can be a very emotionally charged thing, and so I don't think that some people hate watch it to be malicious and for fun, I guess, right? But then I also understand the feeling because it's a very weird feeling for me because I couldn't see anything being as bad as Neverland was. Like, I don't see how RWBY could be that bad in another person's eyes, I guess, as something like Neverland. But I think that, like, Neverland just makes me fear getting invested in anything ever now. Like, I am, like, scarred because of this anime adaptation. Like,
that's how I felt after Game of Thrones.
I feel exactly like Game of Thrones. Like, I feel very scarred. Like, I don't know if I'll ever like anything. Like, I went to sleep last night and I was like, guys, what if I hate the RWBY episode tomorrow because I hate the Promised Like, I was so scared. Like, I was scared I was gonna wake up tomorrow and just hate RWBY because of what happened to Neverland, right? So, hold on, I'll get back to the super chats. Thank you, Andrew, for becoming the Calxiyn court official. You will have to be a royal advisor to see the reaction today, or a elite noble to see the reaction on Wednesday, just so you know, but thank you so much nonetheless. The Atlantean Empire said Nora's the last redhead standing, oh no.
Yeah, I think so. Penny's gone, yeah.
Have you listened to the end credits song? We have listened to it, but we'd like to do like a lyric analysis separately. LOL Fire Force, I don't think anyone's watching that anymore. God. Oh, yes. But yeah, so do you guys understand what I'm saying? Like, it's so weird. It's so weird. It's just so weird.
I don't understand why, after you lose interest in a show, you continue to watch it.
I kept watching Neverland because I just couldn't pull myself away. Like, that's how I felt about it, right?
I don't know.
I couldn't stop watching it. After it started to nosedive, I was like, why can't I give up the show? Like, why am I willingly torturing myself? I don't know. And it was kind of like, I don't like to leave things unfinished. Okay. And so maybe, like, if I wasn't a YouTuber, I would just drop it and continue living my life. But, like, I don't know. I have, like, the Promised Neverland related trauma. No, seriously. Like, it has changed my entire perspective on everything ever. But yeah.
It's a little dramatic.
Yeah,
but
yeah, you know, like, I feel like that people are, if people are, like, angry and toxic and stuff, like, obviously that's not cool. You should
let other people
You probably
enjoy
should stop watching stuff that you don't like anymore, but at the same time, now that I have this perspective, I also understand this, like, I can't peel my eyes away, or, how do you call it?
Train wreck?
What's the, like, sunk cost fallacy.
Oh, yeah.
I've been here so long, I can't leave. That's how
honestly,
I think a lot of people
sunk cost fallacy. I finished Fire Force.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't a very good anime, but I think it was the sunk cost fallacy where it's like, yeah, it could get better. It did.
Exactly. Yeah, okay, respectfully, request an analysis of Angry Weiss activating Blake's sword moment. Yes, I think that was so good of Weiss using Blake's sword. Thank you, Andrew, for the $5
Weiss
super chat, by the way.
And I support
yes, some people struggle with sunk cost fallacy. I struggle with that a lot. A lot. And so, yeah, sorry to, like, take a little detour, guys, but, like, you know, it wouldn't be oh, God.
It's okay, we're 50 minutes into the stream, and
it wouldn't
not
be a
4 minutes
Calxiyn
into the
stream
video.
if we didn't go a little off topic, but I would really like to make a video about that, because I feel like that it's, like, changed my life in the worst way possible. Like, I've never, it's like, what if I read the 4 Harry Potter books, but hate the 5th one? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm scared.
A lot of people
I'm
did
so scared to
read
get
the
invested.
4 Harry Potter books and didn't like the 5th one.
Oh, well, I didn't know that. I was just using
That's
an
a
example.
common experience, actually.
But yeah, like, I was just worried. I guess I'm just worried about, like, getting invested in anything ever. Like, I'm just really worried now. Like, but anyway, let's talk about whooshing. I really like that.
Oh Lord.
Dear. Yeah, Weiss is MVP of Team RWBY. Weiss had such, like, pro gamer moments. Like, Weiss was just so great. Oh, man. And look at this face from Cinder. We love to see it. And I love this. So again, like, Penny self-sacrificing. Like, how did no one think that she wouldn't do it? Like, she was willing to do it, like, 4 times.
The second someone pointed out that now that she was a human, she could die permanently, I'm like, oh, God damn it, they're gonna kill her.
Yeah, it's so funny because, like, I kind of knew in my heart that she would die. Yeah. And then people on Twitter were like, no, they just made her human, Cal, she'll be fine. Like, even Vex was like, no, Cal, don't worry, she'll be fine. And I'm like, okay, Vex, like, I know we didn't make a bet per se, but I'm like, I'm coming to collect. Like, I'm gonna need a $5 super chat for that trauma, Vex. Sorry to tell you. Because, like, I don't know, like, he gave me, like, a little false hope because I feel like that sometimes, I guess, as fans, you can get not too hopeful, but, like, too... like, one way or the other, like, too blind to your own side, I guess. And so when the critics tell me
that I made a nuts and bolts fucking popper.
I know.
I guess we're gonna rename this one.
I guess what I just mean is, like, when the critics say something, I'm like, okay, well, maybe I'm overreacting, right? Because a more balanced perspective, or I guess another side of the perspective comes in. So when the critics were kind of saying, like, well, I don't think that Penny will die, she'll be fine, I was sort of like, oh, maybe I am overreacting.
Nope.
No. So that's what happened. Yeah. I'm so glad the powers didn't go to anyone in Team RWBY. Well, Penny thought she was dead, but yeah, I don't think that they're going to... I
remember back in the day, whenever someone, like, the second they learned about the Maidens around Volume 3 when I was reading RWBY fanfiction.
I don't think they're all gonna be RWBY at all. The guys, we're at 800 viewers. That's pretty pog.
Watch me talk about fanfiction and it go down. So back in the day, when Volume 3 just happened and Maidens first were introduced, everyone wanted Winter to be the Winter Maiden. Everyone had that headcanon. And at the time, I felt like, well, that's a little obvious, right? Like, but yeah, I guess. But now that I think about it, yeah, it makes sense. Like, she's taking control of her destiny.
Yeah.
I guess really, what Winter and Penny have a lot of similarities. Both are kind of dogs, or were dogs of the military, that want to learn to branch out from under. I guess both are kind of maybe past traumas for Winter, but also under Ironwood. And I guess with Winter, especially, she goes from under her dad to under Ironwood. Yeah. And so now she's finally free, and I think that's very similar to Penny's character development. So I think it works that they were both the Winter Maidens.
Yeah, Penny also always had inclinations towards self-sacrifice for the greater good. Yeah. And so, okay, so some people are saying, like, oh, Pietro can still rebuild Penny. I'll talk about why I don't think that they'll go that route per se. We'll talk about it. But for now, we should get back in the episode. I like this. And so she's like, I'm what you want. And then Cinder's like, I want it all. And I think that fits so much, like, for her character, right? I just feel like that like, I don't know, that's everything.
If you wanted to, like, condense her entire character to one line, it would be, I want it all.
Like, Cinder's greed is definitely a big thing. It's definitely a
lust
big
for
thing.
Power.
Exactly. Like, she can't be happy with just the maiden power. She can't be happy with just killing Penny. She also needs to kill Weiss too, right?
Oh, so greedy with the homicide there.
I love
God,
this.
yeah.
Can we talk about how Blake just kicked Cinder in the face? Like,
this reminds me in Volume 5 when Blake, like, punted Hazel
through
the sky.
Blake did that?
Yeah, in Volume 5 when she...
But Blake wasn't with them.
No, when she comes in at the end of the volume.
I don't remember. Maybe she did that.
She bursts into the room and she, like, kicks... All I'm saying is that surprise Blake kicks are great.
This was so good.
I also love how, like, angry, like feral she is here.
Yeah.
Like, you can tell she just saw her prospective girlfriend die and she's kind of losing her mind.
Cinder's pulling a Sharpay. Oh my god.
Oh,
Can I do an AMV with that song? Will Disney copyright me?
Which one? Bop to the top and it's just her killing people?
It's the I Want It All song from High School Musical 2, I think.
Oh.
It's like the one
I
where
want fabulous.
Yeah,
okay.
I think so. Maybe it's a different one.
It's been a minute since either of us has watched. Subscribe to the Patreon if you want to see us do a reaction of High School Musical 1 through 2.
Oh, God. Okay, yeah, so...
Look at that interesting pose there.
Oh, this was so good for Blake. I love this. I love this so much.
I just love how pissed and feral she is.
Yes. And, like, I love how Blake's telling Weiss to give up. Like, if I can keep fighting, you can keep... It's from High School Musical 3. I'll look into it. There may be another song.
High School Musical 3.
There may be a different song. I don't remember. But, yes. Oh, boy. Yeah, I'll make an AMV, guys. Don't worry. Okay. So, yeah, I really like this. So, I love how Weiss... I guess she grabbed the relic, but I think...
She fucking ran.
I think that she was gonna toss... I thought that she would toss it in the portal. But I don't know what happened.
That would have been the smart thing to do.
I mean, but Cinder can still go through to Vacuo, I guess, and then
Yeah.
torture the refugees in exchange
Mhm.
for the relic, right? So it probably wasn't smart. Not really, you know? It probably was. It was probably best for them to keep it with them because Cinder would follow them wherever they went, so that wouldn't really work.
Mhm.
You know?
Mhm.
Oh, boy. Just got here. What did I miss? I mean, we are,
A lot
3
of
minutes into the episode,
and an
so
hour
not
into
really.
the stream.
Oh,
In case
God.
you're wondering if we're able to stay
Oh, well,
on
Hunter,
point.
it's our last one anyway.
Yeah, let's
Who
have fun.
cares? Right?
Oh, I'm not angry about it. If anything, I'm just like, yeah, that sounds like us to take 15 minutes of video and spin it into like 3 hours
Yeah.
of discussion. Honestly, I was kind of surprised the route that everyone took. I thought that it would
Yeah.
only be Marrow, but really Marrow was the first, and then everyone eventually.
Yeah. I mean, like,
Turn.
I kind of told that to you, though,
Mhm.
that Elm and Vine had changed heart.
Yeah,
whereas
I didn't
Hare
believe
needed
it
to.
until like they start openly questioning it.
Did anyone feel like Crow's voice acting was question marks? I
It
didn't
was.
feel like that.
I felt that like he sounded especially like hoarse.
Well,
what
yeah.
got-
I mean, he's getting old, bro.
So my understanding is that like normally he's kind of like bassier and smoother. With this one,
Yeah.
he was sort of high and hoarse, and I think that that's just him trying to communicate that he's like kind
Emotional.
of emotional and
Yeah.
has done a lot of screaming.
Maybe we haven't seen emotional Crow in a long time.
And he probably hasn't slept in like 48 hours.
Yeah. And
But
I
yeah, I
like
did
this
notice the
because
difference.
his side hurts, and I think
Mhm.
that's his Tyrion injury
Oh,
from
yeah,
Volume 4.
yeah.
Because he grabs his side last episode, too. And that's what I think it is. Like, it's his injury from Volume 4 acting up right there. And so I didn't really think that this fight would be longer just because, like, Hare was never... I don't know how to explain it, but, like, Hare is not, like, Tyrion. Like, Hare is not bloodthirsty.
No.
She's just upset. And as soon as her friends knock some sense into her, she changes her mind. Right?
It seemed very quick that she changed
Yeah.
her mind. Almost like it wasn't like a rationale that was making
Yeah.
her do it, but like it was just pure manic energy
Exactly.
that was making her do it.
And so I feel like that this was like really good, right?
Mhm.
You're making a mistake, Harriet. Do you think the people that fell in the void will get a power boost or a new weapon? I mean,
think
everyone
so.
has their weapons except Jean's sword is broken, so he'll probably get the destruction relic. Probably.
Or just a new sword.
Crow
I
aged
don't
in
know.
2 days? I mean, he's been aging this whole time. Like, Clover's death aged him, and then all that other stuff aged him too. Like, it's, you know, it's
Done
been
a lot
time.
of screaming.
But yeah, and so I liked how this scene went down. Like, I just like how it started, I guess. I don't know, it's hard to explain.
What happened to Clover, I regret.
Yeah. And I like Crow still trying to, like, he's on his knees trying to
Yeah.
stop the bomb, and I thought that was hysteria. Yeah, I guess so. Like, that's sort of, yeah, she was sort of letting her feelings out in a very bad way. And then when she realized what she had done, she felt, like, clearly ashamed, I think,
Yeah.
right? And so I feel like that
Especially
this made
after
sense.
it resulted in the death of Vine.
And I
as we
really
saw in the
like
series.
this because I sort of was like, oh yeah, Marrow and Elm were probably taken with them for their, like, for safety, right?
They're
And so I
teammates.
really like that. Yeah, her ribbon is broken, but she still has more ribbon, right? Just because the ribbon is shorter doesn't mean you could reattach it, couldn't you?
Yeah, she
You know
has
what
more
I mean?
ribbon.
She has,
presumably.
yeah, like, I don't know how to explain it, but like,
My thing is,
it
like,
got broken in half, so couldn't you just put the leftover halves together and tape it up? You know what I mean? Anyway, I'm sure they'll figure it out. They may get, like, weapon upgrades as opposed to whole
I
new
hope they
weapons,
don't
right?
lose their weapons entirely. Though.
I don't think they'll lose them. It's upgrades.
I guess
it's like
so.
additions, I
Yeah.
guess. Poor Blake. She just fixed her sword and now it's fucked up again. Did Crow semblance evolve here? I think it was kind of... It could have been bad luck for Harriet, but I think that it was almost Clover's semblance remnants.
Yeah, I
It
don't
was
know.
kind of interesting, but we'll talk about it. So they're still evacuating Mantle. So here's where I think that they're going. Based off of that line alone, I feel like that we will not see them until Vacuo because they know that Mantle's evacuating, therefore they know where Mantle is evacuating too. If Team RWBY called up Crow, like they called up Robin, I'm assuming, and then Winter, like they called everyone up. I'm assuming that basically, like, TLDR, if they called Winter, and Winter was in contact with Crow and Robin have been told of the portal plan. And so they will go to Vacuo, I'm assuming. And so I feel like that, like, you were sort of worried about, well, will it be split into 3? No, because they're just gonna fly in a plane. Who needs to see that?
Yes.
Like, I feel like that they will just go to Vacuo.
Unless they end up going to, well, because Vacuo's a really long trip.
Not
I guess
really.
if they go north, then they would spin around the globe.
Tyrion and Mercury are going to Vacuo, though.
Yeah.
So
I think that's wrong, because if they go north, I'm thinking of if they cross Anima.
okay.
If they go north, it would just go around the Earth, and they would.
Atlas is here.
Yes.
Mistral is here.
Yes.
Vale and Vacuo are here.
Yeah.
So I guess you would go like
around.
this.
Yeah. Because if you imagine
if
the map,
it's a globe.
if you imagine the map of Remnant as a globe,
yeah.
Then Atlas and Anima, that whole continent, are very close to one another.
I think that it could be 2 things with Crow Semblance, to be honest. We had this really old theory, and I don't know if it still exists anymore, but we had a theory that Crow Semblance was not bad luck, but it was always, I think somebody called it actualization of outcomes, or like luck manipulation in general, but because Crow has a negative mindset, his luck always turned out negatively. And so if semblances can evolve, I would say that yes, Crow had bad luck to start and now it's evolved a lot like Ren, or Crow never had bad luck to begin with, he just thought he did, and his thoughts influenced the surroundings. And so I would actually say then, it could either be like, oh, Clover watching from above, he. Like, it could be that, but, like, otherwise, it could also be he thought that Clover was still with him, and so something good happened because his luck was always manipulation. Does that make sense? So he looked at the pin, thought of Clover, and that brought him back to a good luck mindset.
Yes.
Right? Like, I know that sounds kind of confusing. It's funny seeing your arms move like that when the stream was paused for me. Oh boy, Arnold just seeing our glow. Like, we need an actual round object for this. But anyway, but yeah, we don't know what Crow's semblance is exactly. It could be karma instead of bad luck. And so maybe that's even an evolution that he hasn't noticed yet, right? Really hope Crow doesn't go full brainless scarecrow while RWBY are in the other world. Also hoping time flow is consistent between the 2 worlds. We will talk about that. Code, thank you for the $5 super chat, by the way. But I think for the first part, I think that Crow has already had his brainless arc, and that was with how he felt about Ironwood. That was him fucking around and being the Scarecrow, and then also him being the Scarecrow was Volume 6. I think that he's already had his Scarecrow time. I don't think that he's going to lose it right now, because all he knows is that he can't contact Yang and RWBY, which would make sense if they had already gone to Vacuo. Like, Crow should understand that the portal evacuation plan must have worked. Like, he doesn't know that they're lost in the void yet, because there wouldn't be communication between Atlas and Vacuo anyway. So he's worried about RWBY and Yang, because he's seeing, you know, all of the water come in, and he doesn't know what's happening to them, but he should not think that they're dead per se, because they know about the evacuation plan, and they know about the portal. So, theoretically, he should just be freaking out because he can't contact them, but he could still have hope that they're in Vacuo. It's when he gets to Vacuo that they would find out that they never came through the portal in the first place. You guys are asking about what we think of the post-credit scene. We'll get there when we get there. But you guys should probably check out our theory, our other world theory about, like, how... Like, we basically made this theory, and it was like, Team RWBY will fall, and we made that, like, 2 weeks ago. Like, we made that way before Yang fell, and, like, Hunter and I had this other realm theory, and I'm so proud of that, because now that's actually, like, correct. Like, that's my big W of the volume, I think, was Hunter being like, Raven will save them, right, with a mixture. Like, you considered the other realm, too, but my whole thing was other realm 102%, and I'm so glad that I was right. Like,
I really didn't think that you were...
That's my big Calxiyn W, was guessing the otherworld thing, and I'm so happy.
Whenever you make really bold predictions,
it was bold.
With regards to the relic, I should just listen to you, because they're almost always right.
I know. But yeah, so we'll get to the post-credit scene, but but you guys should ask us when we get there, because right now we're still on the Harriet stuff. Miranda, thank you for the $5 super chat. How do you think Ruby will react to finding out Penny died again? Badly.
Oh, God.
Especially since John has to go down there and tell her. But yeah, I think, Crow has had enough Scarecrow moments, I think. I don't think he's going to have any more Scarecrow moments. But yeah, Afterlife - Otherworld theory. Arnold, we're actually expanding that. We're saying it's like the great before as well, where we talked about that already, but we'll get there. That's not gonna happen. Dar isn't us being on topic. That's funny. Anyway, and so I really like this. I love how the Aesops are now accepting their friendship. I think that was really nice, because like Hare's actually thinking about it. Like she's actually thinking about her friends now. So yeah, so with the pin, it could have been Clover from above, right? But I'm more inclined to think that it was sort of like Crow having an improved mindset. And I think that we'll probably talk about maybe a theory about his theory, another time. Thank you, Mendo, for the $2 super chat. I think they'll go to different places in the past, maybe, but I mean, we see a magical tree. That wasn't anybody's past yet. So even if they did do that, they're still in another world regardless, but we'll talk about that.
I like that it also does the flash thing, Clover's badge.
Are you guys talking about Crow being Ruby's dad? Stop that.
Oh, God, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
What does this look like, 2017?
Oh, God. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead, Hunter.
No, I just liked how when he makes that sort of wish, it does the little gleam.
Yeah.
Just like...
So it was... I don't know. I'm, like, sort of... I don't know.
I like the idea that it's just an evolving semblance or that it could hypothetically be like a total
Maybe
coincidence.
it's just fate, you know? Maybe
I
it's
just think
fate.
that it's a good idea that they didn't put wheels on that bomb, or else they would have all been in trouble.
Oh, boy.
That would have been launched off like a trolley car.
I really like the splits that they've been doing the past 2 episodes. I think that's been, like, really, really nice. What if Crow and Clover had the same semblance? Yeah, that's what I was sort of thinking, was that Clover only had a good luck semblance from his perspective because he was born into this world of privilege and didn't struggle. So he sort of thought on the more positive good luck side. Whereas Crow, growing up with the bandits and all that stuff, he probably inherently thought that he was causing bad luck. And so I feel like that they probably had the same semblance. Yes, self-actualization, that's what it was called. We made a theory about that literally so long ago, like 2017. We'll have to redo it. Yeah, I love the self-actualization theory. I love that. Delusional me tells me Pyrrha's in the void. Well, I have that theory too, so you're not that delusional, right? And so look at that. Look how Crow looks at the pin. And look how happy he is. We got to see Crow smile a little bit. But...
it starts anyways.
Watts does the bads, right? Yeah.
This man is doing this. He doesn't know he's about to get toasted.
But it's kind of funny because... I think that Watts' death actually really fits here, and it's not like just that it fits narratively, as in I always said, like, the reason why I have no Watts on my bingo card, that Watts dies on my bingo card, is because I thought that, like, narrative-wise, there would be no reason for him to go to Vacuo, because Vacuo is not as technologically advanced as Atlas, and there would really be nothing for him to do. So I always thought narratively he should die here. But I think that it's also fitting for his character arc, because he really thought, like, I'm gonna blow up Atlas, the bomb's gonna explode. Like, I feel like that he was probably, like, he did try to get out, right? Like, he didn't want to die. He didn't want to smoke to death. But it's also kind of fitting at the same time that he did die, because his death was in revenge, and I feel like that he was probably, like, even though he definitely, like, didn't want to, like, die of smoke inhalation, and he definitely wanted to get out, and he was probably pissed in his last moments that Cinder never came back for him, I feel like on some level he would have probably been okay with dying if it meant he got revenge on everyone, and he thinks that he did, so
but
he probably died kind of happy.
I also like the idea that, like, he's just gotten played by so many people.
He did.
I'd also like to point out that Veggie Snake in the chat mentioned how, why is the bomb Wi-Fi connected? And that's a good point.
I mean, because you would do it remotely.
I guess so. But, like, you could have, like, a remote detonator that isn't on, like, public hackable Wi-Fi.
Neo Redemption Arc will get that, but it's not hackable Wi-Fi. He's in the military compound,
I guess so.
right?
Yeah.
We'll talk because Hunter and I were actually thinking about that. Like, we were thinking about that way before this, but like now, like so like a couple days ago, we talked about Neo falling into the hole with the heroes and seeing Roman and like changing her whole life. So I feel like that now we're definitely going down that road, like for sure. I'm so glad we had that theory too. That was such a good idea, and now it may be happening. Yeah, you deserve this. Yeah. Like I kind of agree. Like I love Watts. And Watts was more compelling than Cinder in a lot of ways, but now Cinder is becoming compelling as a result of what Watts said, and now we can kind of get rid of him, right? So, I don't know. Like, I think that this was kind of a fitting end to Watts' character. I don't really have that big of a problem.
It works well as a kind of parable of, like, don't get played, for lack of a better term.
Kinda, yeah. And
like, don't let people control you through your vengeance or your grudge.
I just wonder why he couldn't get out. Because why didn't he, like, run down the hallway? Why was he trapped in the room? Because it seemed like he was trying to break out a window. So I don't know what happened.
Maybe the roof collapsed? I don't know.
We don't really know why he didn't get out.
But it's just such a grisly way for him to go. I mean, we'll talk about that at the point,
But yeah, oh my god, this Cinder and Ruby fight was everything. The way the viewership peaked right before Hunter, and you talked about the fanfic. Well, now we're at 800 and something, so I think that hopefully, yes. But yeah, this fight was so good, and like, look, so Ruby's crying. Ruby has tears in her eyes, because she thinks that Neo has killed Yang, and so like, that's what happened to Tyrion? He went to Vacuo, guys, don't worry.
Yeah,
and so yeah, it's so
upsetting that she can't even like take a moment to pause and acknowledge that she just saw her sister die, or what
instead she has to fucking fight Neo, and like I just love how Neo just stands there and just like she didn't even move. Like, look at this, okay? The scythe is going and she's just standing there so unimpressed, and she's like, Ruby, what the fuck, right?
Oh god, as much as Neo is evil,
I love Neo. Look at this, like this is just so great. Like she's so unimpressed. She just flies along with Ruby's scythe. I love her.
I really liked the Neo Cinder fight from Volume 6, but these fights remind me what I loved about Neo in that Volume 2 fight.
It's funny because I'm like, how did Ruby trip?
I don't know. She just tripped. Maybe she got hit in the back. I think she got hit in the back of the head.
I think I missed it. Yeah, but yeah, I think she got hit. Oh yeah. So I think right here they probably hit her at the back of the head. But yeah, this Neo and Ruby fight was so good.
How in here, just like in Volume 2, they make her seem so like cold and untouchable and full of herself. And I love
it. I love how it carries over though, right? This was a good smack though. And I love this because I was like, oh no, how is she is she going into Vacuo? No, she's fine. But yeah, so this was just a mantle portal. So that's why she was able to come back through, because the one-way ticket is only on the big one. So yeah, Neo kicked her, so she like fucking fell. And so I think that Cinder saw that and was like, ah man, Neo's going very slow. Oh man. But yeah, Cinder must think that she's done the shit because she thinks Ruby's genuinely dead. Like, she must be pretty happy. She thinks that she's got her revenge, right? So she must think that, like, maybe there's a small part of her that's not convinced, but she must think that Ruby's, like, dead. I don't know. But yeah.
But Neo fell in before Ruby fell in.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. I'm saying Cinder must think that Ruby's dead. Did I say another name by accident? I don't know. I'm just saying, like, Cinder must think that she's gotten all the W's. Because she got the staff and she thinks that Ruby's, like, genuinely dead.
Which, at the same time, is kind of also, like, Volume 3. Like, everyone thought
but she also did get the W's, though, didn't she? Because she got both of the staffs. So I think that, like, Cinder definitely deserved the win that she got. And I like this. Come on, we have to do this for Yang. And then we got that evil eye that you guys have seen. This was back in Volume 1. Yeah. Crazy. And in Volume 3 a little bit.
Yeah, when Cinder fights Glinda and Ruby.
And so I love that. Love to see it. Oh, man. Yeah, like, this is gonna bite Cinder so hard. I think it will, but at the same time, like, I feel like this is a good step in Cinder's character development. She's finally feeling like she's good and smart, and she kind of is good and smart again. So that's good. Cinder fucking won, yeah.
As much as it terrifies me, whenever I see it, I do love the kind of more finer, more high definition aura breaking thing they have now.
Oh yeah, so Cinder said before they fell, Neo killed Ruby. Cinder's gonna be fucked when they come back. That's true. Yeah. But, I mean, Cinder could always say, oh, well, I didn't see it that clearly. Like, I don't know. Like,
they fell through the hole. I assume they died.
Yeah, and And so,
that's a fair.
yeah, the push was kind of awkward. I did notice that, like, her pushing RWBY out of the way was a little weird because she was, like, dazed.
Yeah.
And so I didn't, like, that was a bit of a weird shot, but I don't know, like, it didn't bother me that much in the rest of the episode. I love this. So Neo just runs through the portal and then goes to stab her. Oh, this was such a good fight. Look at this, and I love how RWBY's just holding this. And Brodius must be in his little house. He's in his little genie apartment.
Everything's shaking.
Like, everything's shaking. It's like going into the washing machine, and he's just like, and he's just like, what is going on out there? He must be so...
That's such a strange visual.
Oh, God. I feel like Salem doesn't care because she got 2 relics. That's true. Like, why would Salem care about Team RWBY, really? You know what I mean? Like, think about how long Salem has lived. Right? There have been many a Team RWBY. Like, Team RWBY isn't like, I wanted Team RWBY dead, hee. Like, I don't think she cares.
Well,
she only cares about the relics.
Silver Eyes.
Team RWBY does get in her way. But, like, there has always been a Team RWBY stopping her, and I don't think she gives that much of a shit, you know? Anyways, okay.
I agree. I think if anything, she'll be more panicked. Oh, big water bottle stop. Big water bottle stop, everyone. Oh, good lord. I think what she'll be more in what Cinder will get in more trouble in from Salem is that when she or maybe probably learning using the last question, also killing Watts. I imagine Neo.
Salem won't know that.
She won't know that.
She'll never know
unless Watts survives. I mean, we don't know what happened to Pietro and Maria. What if they're
what
like?
If they get Watts? No.
Oh God, it's you again.
Right,
Like,
Watts would be so pissed if his life was saved by Pietro. Like,
that
imagine
would-
Pietro
Yeah.
sees Watts on the side of, like, whatever, like, on the side of the military compound, hitting the window, and then breaks it open for him. He'd be so, like, mad. He'd be so mad if Pietro saved his life. But yeah, look at this scene. Oh, I love this. And I love how Neo also, like, I didn't even see, I guess RWBY dropped it and it came down from the sky. Love that for us. That was really good.
I was genuinely shocked when her weapon fell.
I thought that was so good too.
That
Now
almost-
look at Neo's face.
I
love
love
it.
Neo's perish face.
I love Neo so much, guys. Damn.
I-
Yeah, Salem does want the Silver-Eyed Warriors alive. That's why she said, yeah. That's why she said that Neo killed RWBY, but I meant more like Salem doesn't care about Team RWBY being back alive. If anything, she would probably think like, oh, well, that's great. I still have the Silver-Eyed Warrior, right?
Yeah.
But I meant that more as like that Salem doesn't care in terms of like, oh, you lied to me about killing Team RWBY. I wanted you to do that. I don't think that she cares whether Team RWBY lives or dies. All she cares is about RWBY having the silver eyes, and then she'd actually be happy that Neo didn't kill RWBY. But she'll probably be mad that Salem lied to her. Is Neo redeemable? Yeah. Is Neo redeemable anymore? I think that she is. I think that we'll get there.
I don't think she'll be redeemed in a
She's
sense
not gonna
that
be a
she'll
good
be a
guy.
good person. I think she might just start fighting against Salem when she learns. Who knows? Maybe we'll get like Neo backstory.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about backstory.
I don't know.
I think,
I kind of like her being
I think
an
Neo
anomaly,
change
but...
of heart is more likely.
Okay,
right?
you just named the title of a fan fiction.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, there's one called A Neo Change of Heart.
Oh, well, that's cute. But yeah, I think Neo
And watch our viewers
ultimately will not work with Team RWBY, as in we're all best friends. Let's talk about cute boys. But she will be like, yeah, I know all of this stuff about Salem because I eavesdropped.
Yeah.
I know that Salem wants to destroy the planet because I eavesdropped. I know this, this, and this. And you know what I mean? Like, she'll basically temporarily make a truce with Team RWBY, and she will turn on Cinder. Like, she doesn't love Team RWBY or anything, but she recognizes, like, if she has a conversation with RWBY where RWBY's like, I didn't kill Roman, right? Can we all just relax? Like, I didn't kill Roman, right? Ultimately, Neo will be against Cinder, and that puts Cinder... that puts Neo... against Cinder, and that puts Neo alongside Team RWBY.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Exactly. So I don't really think that it's gonna be like a redeem thing, but it could also be Neo has literally murdered people, so did Emerald, and nobody seems to care. Right? Like, this is a fictional show, guys. How many people did Uncle Iroh kill in the war? Somebody tell me that, okay?
Yeah.
I don't think that Neo is necessarily on Emerald level. She'll probably be more of an anti-hero, but this
because
idea
Emerald
I
showed,
killed people, so I'm irredeemable. Like, you guys didn't watch
because
Avatar, did you?
Emerald like stuck her own neck out to try to save people and do the right thing, and she's always shown some regret to the things that she was involved in.
Yeah.
And that's what I think whereas Neo is totally fine just going wherever the wind takes her, being broadly immoral the entire way.
Yeah. I feel like that it won't necessarily be redemption, it'll just be convenience. It is convenient for me to team up with you guys to kill Cinder, right? Like, I feel like that it won't be like, Neo is good. You know? Like, I feel like that it's not gonna be like
an
that.
An unproblematic failure.
Exactly, right? Yeah. Neo likes murder, though? I don't know.
I think she's a little sadistic.
Maybe.
I mean, it's not
but,
fair.
you know, liking murder's okay if you're on the good guy side. It's
I guess
only
that's
okay
true.
when you're on the bad guy side. Yeah, Uncle Iroh committed a genocide. We can forgive Neo. That's basically what I was getting at, right?
Also,
like,
I think you should have lower standards for fictional character than real people.
Yes, exactly. And so I feel like that ultimately, you know, it's fiction. Yeah, putting a limit on what is and isn't redeemable always goes to a terrible place. Exactly. Like, I feel like that they can do it pretty well. And I feel like the only reason why RWBY, or I guess why Neo is mad, is because she genuinely thinks RWBY killed Roman. If RWBY's like, well, actually, this is kind of Cinder's fault, like, that's the only reason why she's doing bad right now, is out of her grief for Roman. Like, she could have a change of heart. Oh, my mouse is falling. Anyway, we got so distracted. How do we get over here? Yeah, so there's no time to make it out of the blast range. I've killed us all. And then Crow's just here like, I can fly away and turn into a bird, but anyway.
I guess okay, so at first I was a little confused because I was like, well, if it explodes in the air.
No, they would have been in the blast ranges, and like even if the plane started to move away, they'd get caught in the radius. I think that's what happened, right?
I guess so. Then that must be a crazy big explosion.
Yeah, I mean, it was supposed to kill the whale, right? So
I guess so, but that would have also fucking blown a hole through the middle of Atlas.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's what he expected. Like, Atlas is just gonna look like Swiss cheese once we're done with it.
And so I like this because Vine looks at his hands and looks through the he doesn't even have to say anything, and then Elm starts to freak out. I can if it means saving all of my friends. And I thought that this was nice because we have to keep in mind, like, some people seem to be surprised that that Vine did this, but we have to keep in mind that Vine is the character that takes the logical course of action. And what is the logical course of action? I sacrifice myself for the greater good of the lives of my friends. And so even though there's an emotional element, right, ultimately, think about how Vine is like a logical person and a logical character. People seem to be surprised that he's self-sacrificing, but he's self-sacrificing because that's a logical thing to do. Yeah, like, it's so weird because Vine was like, I don't want to say he was the worst Aesop, but like, he was like the most boring Aesop.
Yes. I expected it from him.
I actually felt a lot of this here. And I did predict this. Like, I did say on Twitter, I was like, Vine and Hera will probably die, like, taking care of the bomb and stuff. Like, I just thought that they'd both die to protect everyone else. But the fact that, like, Vine sort of did it alone, I don't know. I feel like that it was really good. I don't know. I feel like that Vine was kind of underrated in that sense. Like, they didn't give us a lot to like him about, but at the same time, I still felt something.
Yeah.
I think that this had more of an impact for me compared to some of the other deaths that we've got in this season, because you actually see it explode and you know that he's dead.
Yes.
You know that he's dead.
They gave the dramatic death to him and not to Ironwood.
And I'm like, why couldn't you do that for poor Hazel?
Yeah, or Jacques.
But I think that this is going to be really emotional. Can we make them girlfriends, by the way? Is that too off topic?
I mean,
Hera
I
and
don't
Elm
see why not.
girlfriends?
I don't see why not.
Anyway, but think about it. Everyone except for Marrow, who's left over, and Crow, I guess. Everybody except for Marrow is a girl, so they may join the Happy Huntresses instead of being the Aesops. I mean, Marrow can be an honorary Happy Huntress, right? But think about like Marrow and Robin's interactions at the rally, and think about all the interactions up until now. Like, what if Hera and Elm are Happy Huntresses in the future? That sounds kind of fun, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad that Hare got out of it, and I think that Hare's, like, next steps forward will be making sure that Vine's sacrifice is not in vain. And so I feel like that she will get, like, some sort of arc where she, like, I feel like they'll all drop out of the military. There isn't any Atlas anymore to be the Atlas military.
There is.
So I feel like that they'll be the Happy Huntresses, honestly. I feel like they'll join the Happy Huntresses.
But they are kind of at a distance from... I mean, I guess they can turn around and fly to Vacuo.
Yeah, they'll fly to Vacuo. And so I feel like that I feel like that Elm and Harriet will join the Happy Huntresses, and it'll be kind of a mixture found family type thing. And maybe Mara will be, like, honorary Happy Huntress. Like, why not? I mean... there's nothing that say that only girls can be in the Happy Huntresses, right?
Yeah.
So, ultimately...
Other than what is casually implied by the name.
Well, yeah, but that's sort of like, you know, what do you call it? Boy Scouts. Like, girls could still join... I think girls can join the Boy Scouts now. Or something. Like, maybe it's not Boy Scouts, but it's another one of those things. Like, those, like, traditionally, like, oh, it's called this, but actually now it's gender neutral, like, or it's all-inclusive type of thing. So, Argus is still there, but Argus is a part of Mistral.
Yeah. So I guess they could fly to Argus.
Even though it's an Atlas kind of territory type thing.
That's probably all that's left of Atlas military, other than whoever survived out the portals.
But I feel like they'll go to Vacuo because Crow's with them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Marrow joins the Happy Huntresses. Let's see. I don't think the Aesops or the Happy Huntresses should be involved in the Vacuo plot, but they are, sis. It's too late. The Happy Huntresses are in Vacuo, so it's too late for that. I mean, I don't see it as, like, I don't think that it's too many characters at all. I think that what I'm concerned about, not too many characters, but too little villains.
Yeah, I'm more concerned because we've lost Hazel and we've lost Neo.
And so I don't think that it's too many with the Happy Huntresses, because ultimately the Happy Huntresses will probably be focused on refugee stuff and not on Salem spoopy stuff, right? And so I think that that's fine. Is Ironwood alive? No. Probably not. Probably not, but we'll get there, right? Yeah. Anyway, and so I think that this was like a really meaningful scene between them too. I really like this. But I do sort of wonder... Like,
everyone
no
just
one
knows
questions Crow turning into a bird anymore. I mean,
I guess people just assume that that's his semblance.
Yeah,
right?
I kind of wonder what they think about that. Yeah, Maria and Pietro. We'll figure that out when we get there, too. I think everyone is in Vacuo, but they won't come into play. Yeah, and so, like, that's the thing, is, like, just because the Happy Huntresses and the Aesops are in Vacuo, that doesn't necessarily mean that they'll be, like, heavily involved against Salem, per se. Thank you, Alex, for being a part of the Royal Advisors. You can now go watch our RWBY reaction after the stream, or before. I mean, the stream will be up anyway, so yeah. They know magic is real. That's true. That is true. But yeah, I think, like, the Happy Huntresses will probably just deal with the refugee plot, and then they may not, like, they probably won't be, like, hurting. They probably won't be, like, cast bloat, I guess. Is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, like, I'm just worried about the villain side, just because we only have Mercury and Tyrion, and how Mercury and Tyrion are gonna fight against Team Coffee, Funky, Sun, all the other teams at Shade, Theodore, Rumple, and then whoever else is there. Like, that's what worries me.
I think the only other thing that evens out this kind of uneven
and Winter has the maiden powers, and she's there too.
Is that the fact that they have the Staff of Creation?
Yeah, that's the only...
That is pretty OP.
That's
they can
the
be
only
like,
thing.
create a giant anvil.
Yes.
100 meters above. Like, you could do, like, really...
crazy shit, right?
If they want... They're never gonna do something like just make it rain anvils in Vacuo. But yeah, they could if they wanted to.
I think that there's a very big thing... with that. Like, I think that there's a big thing about that. Yes, I mean, there are villains from the books in Vacuo, and I could kind of see them joining.
Like
Carmen? But why would they join Salem's the question, I guess. Yeah, like Carmen. I mean, I guess the thing about Salem is nobody else knows that she's destroying the world, so yeah, I guess they can join Salem. Yeah, maybe the Crown.
Would you be annoyed if, like, all of a sudden, because I know people pointed this out way back in Volume 4, but when you look at, Salem's
if there was a villain there all along.
No, Salem's throne room, there's extra seats.
Yeah, so you're saying, what if there was a villain there?
What if
the
there were, like,
time?
other people?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I would complain about is the fact that why did she send Tyrion to go find the Summer Maiden then if there was already someone over there? But yeah, I feel like that the villain side will probably be reinforced somehow.
Yes.
Yeah, and like, exactly, with the Creation Relic, there's a lot. There's a lot with the Creation Relic that they could do. So don't worry. Don't worry, guys.
And all of it terrifies me.
Why is there not one competent headmaster? Well, don't worry. Theodore is the GOAT. Theodore is the best headmaster that has ever headmastered in the world.
Yeah.
Guys, we're almost at 900 viewers in the stream. That's crazy. That's never happened to me before. Or I guess us before, I should say. But yeah, holy fuck. Okay.
This was a very dramatic and
I really
I really
this.
didn't think he was gonna die.
And I love that. I love
it was
like
very,
the
yeah,
sort
it
of
looked
flower,
like a flower, yeah.
Right? And then, you know, he basically did this to lessen the bomb. And you can see how bad it would be even, like, if they were close by. Like, it's just crazy. Like, you can imagine the force. It's so
the shockwave, it would have broken all of the glass. It could have...
Yeah, like, it would have been bad if the bomb went off. And it's just crazy to see Vine just disintegrate. Like...
I feel like they could have done this a little lower altitude, so it felt a little bit more like the
I guess, like more near the city, more in danger.
Because as it stands, I feel like they could have all just left and like
but
tried to survive the shockwave.
It seemed like a big bomb though,
I guess so.
I don't know. But yeah, I really like to see this, and Robin's driving, right? So I'm like,
Eyes on the
happy
road,
Huntresses! Like, that would be my prediction for what happens to these guys.
Hello, ladies.
Exactly.
Do you want
and
to
then
join
I think
my
you see
cult?
Crow right here, and he's looking in the distance, and so I think that that's pretty good. Whatever you wanted, I hope it was worth it. And so, like, I wonder what that means, though. Clearly she wants to kill you, right? And so I wonder, like, what that means from Ruby's side of things.
Maybe when you think about it with her, like...
She doesn't even know why Neo wants to kill her.
Yeah, like, Neo was with
Roman.
Roman's dead. Yeah. Why are you still here? Probably she's just genuinely confused.
Yeah.
She doesn't have that context that we have, that she was lied to by Cinder.
When's Raven gonna do something? Raven Watch 2021, guys.
2021, baby!
Well, 2021 next. Fall 2021, how's that?
Yeah.
Poor Hunter. Hunter, yeah, you kind of deserve to put on the clown nose for that one, to be honest. All volume, Hunter's been waiting for Raven, and
There's
Raven
been
never
opportunities.
Came. There was!
It made sense.
But then it didn't. Oh, God.
I'm just saying, if they... I don't know, man. I still think certain ideas that I had about Raven will happen. Like, she will have some kind of conversation with Tai Ying. She will try to pick up and Ruby and Yang, but she's not able to open that portal.
Oh, I love this. And I love how Ruby just went and
that
goes
was
over
such a
the
cool
side.
move.
Oh, man.
Oh no, she got burnt.
Yes. I really love this, but I like how Ruby grabs onto Neo's legs. Oh, boy.
It's at that point that she was,
and this is the most fucked up scene that I've ever seen in my life. And does she kick over her umbrella, by the way? We'll have to check, right? This is so crazy because I genuinely thought that Cinder had learned the value of friendship.
Boy, we're replayed.
I think that Cinder learned the value in telling people what they want to hear.
Yeah.
Okay? That's the thing. And so I understand why this rubs people the wrong way at first, and it seems like a backtrack, but it's not. Here's the thing. Cinder just mistreated people and expected them to listen, like hitting Emerald and stuff like that, right? Whereas Salem has always promised, I will give you what you want if you follow me, right? Salem, in a sense, has pretended to be friendly, or pretended to be motherly, or pretended to be this or that. Like, think about how she manipulates all the kingdoms. Your loved ones will never die again. Doesn't that sound great? Like, Salem always, like, does the pretty words, I guess, to attract people. Whereas Salem, or I guess Cinder, like, Salem is like the flower, like, slowly growing until it's a Venus flytrap and swallows you. Cinder is the hammer hitting you over and over in the head again, right? And so it's like Cinder's method was never effective. How Cinder talked to Emerald and Mercury was never effective. She didn't learn the value of friendship. She just learned the value in using people and telling people that they are valuable to her as friends. And so I don't think that she was actually sorry to Neo at all. Like, I think that she was just understanding after what Wacht said. Like, what did he say? You don't just have to be strong, you have to be smart. You don't just need to be deserving, you have to be worthy. And so Cinder took those words to heart, but not in the way that we thought. It was everything that Watts had said. What else? There's a third thing that Watts says. Does anybody remember? It was the strong, smart, deserving, worthy, and there was something before that. Do you guys remember what it was?
I don't totally remember it. What I also find interesting is that in a way she also plays Salem. Like she lies to Salem, and she almost presents herself as like the person who desperately wants to impress Salem,
and
which
that's
is what Salem
not
wants.
true anymore. And so it's very interesting. Yes, she finally learned manipulation plus. Exactly. She learned the value of manipulation. Cinder is Scar. Yes. I thought that too. Like, this is exactly what I imagined. Like, long live the king. Whee! And so I loved that. I really, really loved that. No, that was it, Cal. Suffering isn't enough. I don't know. Yeah. So deserving, worthy, and then strong, smart. Okay, suffering isn't enough. Yeah. And so I feel like that the smart thing, she took that to heart, right? Like, she took that to heart. She decided, what's being smart? Manipulating people. Bloody migraine? No, I meant the rest of the quote. But yeah, I think
really hope
Cinder is being smart. She's not being actually genuinely friendly, and I feel like that's what people are missing. And I understand why people are upset, because I think people wanted Cinder learned the value of friendship, but in the worst way possible, and I think that still is true. But really, she just learned the value of making people into tools. She's just a little mini Salem, and she even manipulates Salem later by being like, oh, Salem, woe is me, I'm so trash, I can only get these 2 relics. Like, she's putting on an act at this point, and I feel like this is actually really, really good for Cinder's character, and I really enjoy it. I really like Cinder's character right now. I think that Cinder's
You've gone
great.
such a 180
I know, right?
on Cinder
I
this volume.
hated Cinder when we got her backstory
Like this
episode.
bitch,
I was
and
so upset. Also, guys, we just hit 900
wow,
viewers.
we did.
Can we get to 100,000? I don't know if that's like a big...
100,000?
Not 100,000!
Wow, god damn it! I don't want to
100,000.
break this to you, but we're about like 99,100 short.
I meant 1,000. If we got 1,000, that would be like Arnold level. That would be pretty pog, not gonna lie. Anyway, I got distracted again. So yeah, like, I feel like that Cinder, I understand why people are upset and wanted Cinder to like truly learn the value of friendship, but I think that this makes a lot more sense for her arc and her character and everything.
It also kind of confirms to me that I'd have to put on my second fool.
Clown nose.
Because not only did Raven not show up, Cinder did not become redeemed.
I know,
even
and like
whatsoever.
that was a party popper that you had, but we used it for something else because it just seemed so impossible. But I love it.
We used it for Emerald Redemption.
Yeah, look at how Neo's shocked and then she's just like,
Oh, I don't like, look at her little grumpy face.
Oh, she did kick the umbrella, so that's good. At least the umbrella. Cal has high expectations. 100,000, let's go. No, I just meant 1,000. Okay, anyway, set your goals up. But yeah, so I love that. So the umbrella's in the void. That's good. Imagine Yang's just sitting there, crisscross applesauce. She's just like this, and then thonk, the Blake weapon falls on her. Thonk, the Neo weapon falls on her. Like, Yang is just sitting there with all these weapons.
Imagine it like when Ruby's thing comes down. It's like, oh my god, Ruby's coming. And then when Yang sees the umbrella, it's like, oh god damn it.
Yeah, that bitch is coming too. Oh god.
It would be funny if next volume we see Neo like grabbing her umbrella floating down like Mary Poppins.
I think that this is crazy. Okay, so we see that Ruby tries to activate her silver eyes here, by the way. So if anybody's like, why didn't Ruby try to do it? She did, right? But Cal has a complicated relationship with Cinder. Yes, that is me.
Yeah. I have a very two-dimensional relationship with Cinder.
I liked Cinder. I hated Cinder. I like Cinder again. Like, you know, it's... And so, can we talk about this should never have been born thing?
Yeah, that's...
What does that mean?
Do you think that that's a reference to, like, the Silver-Eyed Warriors? Does she know something about the Silver-Eyed Warriors?
Yeah.
That, like, you're, like, an abomination secretly? I think that could be a hint to the nature of the Silver-Eyed Warriors.
I think... So I have this theory...
Oh boy.
And I'll talk about it. I actually wanted to talk about it during the hiatus, but we have this whole thing that whatever the god of light makes, the god of darkness would counteract it, right? So you have, you have plants, like you have, let's say, corn, okay? The god of light makes corn, the god of darkness makes corn disease, or like famine.
Corn disease.
Right, you know what I mean? Like, the god of darkness, the god of light makes a beautiful beach, the god of darkness makes tsunamis, right? Like, it's one of those things, right? So everything that the god of light makes, the god of darkness counteracts. So here's what I think happened. I think that the god of light's first, like, because they made humans together.
Yes.
But I feel like that the god of light's secret side project was silver-eyed warriors.
Yeah.
The god of darkness found out, and he made the hounds. He made the hounds, like, he was the very first person that made the hounds. The thing is, nobody else figured out how to do that until Salem came along, basically. So I feel like that with the RWBY universe, it's everything has balance. In exchange for this, you also have this corn disease. You guys know what I mean?
Corn disease, though. It is. It's like, oh my god.
The gods
I'm
have
blind.
an obsession with balance. Exactly.
Somebody give me my EpiPen. My corn disease is
Here's what I'm thinking.
flaring up again.
The god of light made silver-eyed warriors because the silver-eyed warriors counteract against the god of darkness creation, which is the Grimm. And in response, the god of darkness made the hounds. And so I think that Cinder does just hate RWBY, but I feel like that this could also be a reference to the fact that, like, the god of light made something, like, separate from humanity, like, almost like a little demigod action, and the god of darkness was like, fuck you, and made something to directly counteract that,
I feel like instead of saying, like, oh, like, something is diametrically opposed to something else, you could just say, oh, that's its corn disease.
Oh, God.
What's the corn disease of
God
good?
of Darkness
Bad.
made the silver-eyed warriors to become Grimm hybrids. I kind of think it was more
Alternative.
the God of Light made it, and he appropriated it more so.
I'm thinking
how I
alternatively it could be about maybe, like, we know we've theorized that Ozpin has something to do with the appearance of the silver-eyed warriors. It also could be that, like, well, her mother was Summer, and they obviously have some kind of understanding about Summer.
Yeah.
So maybe it could be, maybe she knew Summer, maybe Salem knew Summer, maybe Salem almost killed her one time, but she came back. I don't know. I feel like, but that's definitely an important line, and that's gonna become relevant. I hope it's not just like everyone wants a RWBY beach episode, everyone wants a RWBY shopping episode, but we never get it.
So Nyadrade is saying, like, when the gods were around, they didn't need special humans since everyone had magic. Yeah, I mean, that is true, but I'm seeing it more as, like, a secondary, because, like, the god of darkness always had, like, pet projects. He always had that going on, but I understand what you're saying. I don't think they're Ozpin's kids, though. Like, I feel like that given that Ozpin doesn't know shit about the Silver Eyes, like, it probably has nothing to do with him. I would say that probably what happened is that when the god of light wanted to make the second humanity, right, the god of light was like, I'll give you a fighting chance and give you silver-eyed warriors, and the god of darkness was sort of like, right? Like, I feel like that's kind of what happened. It's because the god of light was really the one who said, like, oh, humanity will walk the earth's face again eventually. Like, humans have regrown despite, like, no intervention from us. And so I feel like that maybe in order to help them, he sprinkled in some silver-eyed warriors, and the god of darkness made something equal to balance that out, which was that they could be utilized in bad ways. Yeah. But let's get back to Cinder. Yeah. I think that the should never have been born thing, it could have something to do with that, could have something to do with the silver-eyed warriors' origins and stuff. But I also think it's about natural talent. Like, we know that Cinder is jealous of people who have natural abilities. She doesn't really like the Shnees, and I think that now, it's so funny how all our theories from Volume 7 were disproven, but now are somehow back, because we made this whole video about the parallels between Cinder and Winter, and why they should be related.
Which now they're both also, maidens.
Not just about them being related, but why Winter should get the maiden powers, because you have Cinder's, we didn't know it back then, but Cinder's, like, backstory we imagined was her being poor, and then we had, like, Winter being a Shnee, Winter having a natural hereditary strong semblance, Cinder's semblance kind of being trashed to, like, the outside observer. And so we had this big theory about all the parallels between Cinder and Winter and why Winter should get the maiden powers to be diametrically opposed to her, and then Penny got them. But now Winter has them, right? And so it's kind of funny how everything comes around again, right? I think that her comment is also probably like a connection. Cinder's just projecting, connection to the song. That makes sense. Yeah, I think Never Have Been Born, probably some Silver-Eyed stuff. I mean,
yes.
Not like, I don't know how to explain it. I know you weren't talking about Salem and Ozma's kids. I know that you meant like the other kids. Like those kids in like one of the lives. But I think that was like more of just a coincidence than like Ozpin made those kids, like contributed to the appearance of those kids. Yeah, but I don't know. Cinder is Winter's corn disease. Yes, exactly. But yeah, I think this should never have been born thing.
I think we should stop saying...
It could be, Silver-Eyed related. Like, you should have never been born. There's no you know, for you to have this power, how dare you? She's personally offended.
Alternatively, right? I think we should stop using the word foil and replace it with corn disease.
Oh, God. Anyway.
You should sell a t-shirt that just says corn disease and a cob of corn on top.
But yeah,
I just love how pissed Neo looks when she... Oh, no, she's screaming. But in that moment, in a screenshot before that, she looks genuinely just very pissed.
And it's crazy, too, because Penny hurls Blake and then she
throws a cat.
You know, I think she hurled Blake forward because she knew that Cinder would hit her. So she takes the hit, hurls Blake forward. It's funny how Blake, they don't even try to go get Neo, though. They're just like, we have none of that. We have no time for being good people at the moment, okay? She tried to kill you. I'm not getting her, right? And so, and she killed Yang. So why would Blake go save her? So I feel like
that's definitely
that was an interesting addition to Blake's character, was the fact that Blake did not go and willingly, like, save Neo. I think that was very important, because it's like, Blake is like, you killed my girlfriend, bitch. Why would I come over and save you, right? Like, my priority is me and Ruby right now. So I think that was pretty good. But yeah.
Yeah.
Very
sad. And it's such a dramatic,
Yeah, so this is, I guess, what people meant when they said that Blake lost half her weapon and the ribbon was cut. But since Weiss had the other half, they could just reattach it. Yeah. Is what I'm sort of thinking.
I'm thinking it'll be okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, she seems to carry a lot of ribbon with her.
Okay, so here's the thing. My only thing about Ozpin, because some people think that Ozpin has kids and that Ozpin's kids are Silver-Eyed Warriors. And I used to have this theory too. Like, magic plus magic equals magic kid, whereas magic plus human equals Silver-Eyed Warrior kid. Here's my problem with that, though. Why didn't Ozpin just open up a sperm bank and tell everyone, I'm so serious, right?
That's
he was king of Vale. Why not tell everyone to establish the kingdoms?
Maybe he did. We don't know that.
And everyone could have been a Silver-Eyed Warrior, right? So that's the only reason why I don't think the Ozpin thing makes sense, because we knew that once he was in a position of power. And I also get it, like, maybe you don't want your kids to be set up to die. Like, maybe that was the thing, right? Like, you know what I mean? But, like, I feel like that if Ozpin's sperm causes the Silver-Eyed Warriors, there should be no reason why he couldn't have just opened up a sperm bank and, like, whoever wanted it, right, like, could have done it, and the population of Silver-Eyed Warriors could have grown. Like, despite Salem hunting them down. Like, I understand that's an element in the reproduction, but I'm just saying.
Cal, that's eugenics.
Well, no, it would be people's choice. Not forced on anyone. I'm just saying it would be a choice, not like, oh, we're gonna force everyone to be a Silver-Eyed Warrior.
Maybe it's kind of like when everyone in Remnant, how like everyone does their 23andMe, everyone's a little Mongolian. In Remnant, everyone's a little Oscar or a little Ozpin.
I'm just saying, everyone would be siblings, but you would be half siblings.
I don't know. I mean, I understand.
Plus, not everyone would do it. That's why you don't have population
I also
issues,
think it's
right?
possible that, like, he just maybe
all of humanity would be related, but all of humanity's
It's already
already
kinda a little
related.
related,
I'm
not gonna
saying
lie.
that, like, you wouldn't do it over one generation. You would have,
Yeah.
like, handfuls of silver-eyed warriors still interact with human population for genetic diversity. But I'm just saying, like, no one would be forced to do it. Not eugenics. No Attack on Titan bullshit in here, okay? I'm saying that it would be, like, an offer. Oh, that's all I'm saying. Standards? No!
To an extent, I mean, I'm thinking back in Volume 1 where Ozpin just looks kind of cured or surprised by
Yeah,
Ruby's...
Ozpin doesn't seem to know shit about the Silver-Eyed
Yeah,
Warriors,
so I'm left with
right?
the implication that, like,
I don't
if
think
he
he knows
did know
anything.
that, like, it was his babies that would have the silver eyes, he would have probably done something like that.
Yeah.
I'm left with the impression that that's not the case.
Yeah, I feel like he has nothing to do with it.
Also,
'cause there
Blue
would be
for
no,
Life,
it
thank
would
you
not
for
make
typing
sense.
Sweet Home Alabama when we're
God.
talking about...
It makes sense to me in my head without being like weird guys. Like
Okay.
without being like very backyard standard is optional. But you guys brought up the Silver-Eyed Warrior, so now I'm just saying why I don't think Ozpin has anything to do with it. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Oh my god. Oh, they're hugging each other.
But
like
yeah,
they
and
fall.
so I mean, what else are they gonna do? They just
Oh no, they didn't get the hug.
very sad.
Oh, at least they'll probably fall together. So like next volume, they'll be together in their adventures.
Yeah.
You could say.
And
Oh,
then we
boy.
have Penny thinking that everyone's dead.
Dead. Except for Weiss. I mean, I guess she likes Weiss. Okay.
It's so sad. It's so sad. Everything in this episode is so sad. Cal, please. Anyway, that's a
Anyways.
whole other video.
Oh yeah, this is hilarious.
This is great. I love Weiss.
I fucking hope this becomes a meme.
I love Weiss
More
using
than I
Blake's
hope.
weapon.
More than I hope corn disease becomes
Oh,
a meme,
God.
I think this becomes a meme, like angry Weiss with guns.
This was so good. This was so good.
I love her.
Oh boy. Well, Salem's not doing that anymore though. Salem just wants to destroy the world, but she did want to do that with Ozpin.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, Ladybug shippers are finally happy. They're finally
Yeah, maybe.
Oh boy. But yeah, and so May, Joanna, any huntsman that went through the gate, bring them here. So I didn't catch this the first time.
Mhm.
The reason why Nora doesn't fall in is because Jean told Nora to go get the huntresses. And the reason why we see Nora pounding on the door later is because
She wants to get
she's
back in
trying
and
to
save
get
her
back
boy.
in because Jean told her to go out and get everyone and then they couldn't get back in. So Nora's just like, Jean, no. And she's probably like crying and upset. So I didn't realize this at first. But this is why Nora goes through the portal and this is why Jean is alone. And I think that's so sad and so fucked up.
Oh,
You know?
Johnny boy.
And it's crazy because like Nora went through expecting to come back and help Jean and then Jean was trapped on the other side and she never saw him come out.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess Nora could assume that Team RWBY's not dead, but they could have went out the other way back of the Atlas portals. Right? Like maybe that they wouldn't assume the worst yet, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck.
Yeah, God, it's so sad, especially because like she wanted the help and when it zooms out later when you're in Vacuole, you see she's like has all the happy huntresses
Yeah.
around her.
Nora
Yeah,
could have
oh,
shifted
God.
this fight, but that's the thing. They didn't expect for Nora
Yeah.
not to be able to come back. Of course, if Jean knew that, he wouldn't send Nora through, and Nora could have shifted the fight. But they thought that Nora would pop in and come back just like that, right? And so that's the thing, is that they thought that Nora would come back and help them. They didn't expect for things to go down this way, and it's so sad. But yeah. Did Nora go to Vacuole? Yeah, so she went through to Vacuole to go get the Happy Huntresses. Yeah, Winter will tell them what happened, exactly, yeah. Nora saw Yang, RWBY, and Blake fall. Oh, did she? I don't know. But yeah, either way.
I think she did, yeah, because
I think Winter will tell them
they
what
were there at
happened.
the time, so
Yeah.
oh boy.
But I still don't think that maybe they'll think that Team RWBY's dead, but feel in their hearts also that they didn't necessarily know. They don't know.
Maybe, I don't
You know?
That's frightening. I do think it'll be very interesting. It reminds me a lot of the third season of Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
In that, there's that big twist of like everyone thinks Aang is dead.
Yeah,
I feel like here
exactly.
there's the big twist of everyone thinks Team RWBY is dead, so
Exactly.
everyone has to move on, including
Yeah.
Team Juniper and including like Coffee and Sun, maybe when we see them, including Crow and
I
all
mean,
them.
I think that given that there is magic in the world, though, they may think that they're gone, but not necessarily, like, big dead, right?
Maybe.
So I don't know. I feel like that they'll operate on the assumption that they aren't coming back, but always hope within their heart that there could be magic. And they also have Ozpin there. So Ozpin could also comfort them and tell them that maybe all is not lost.
Yeah, because maybe
Ozpin knows
Ozpin
about magic
knows
stuff,
this.
right?
That's
So
true.
yeah, I think so. But yeah. Okay,
I
so
feel
I
like-
like this. It figures that a Schnee would be the last one standing, letting all her friends die first. And so again, Cinder thinks that they're all dead, right? So I feel like that was really, really good.
Yeah.
Oh
fucking
man,
Cinder.
I thought this was so good. And she's like breathing fire.
The
Did you
breathing
see
fire
that?
thing is
That's
wonderful.
crazy. But yeah, I really like this, especially because all of the Schnee Cinder beef, like we can
Yes.
imagine just based off of Cinder's backstory now. Weiss was so good in these scenes. And I just love, like, seeing Penny. You wouldn't know anything about friends, hee hee, and I really like that as well. Jean roars. Look at Jean being like, oh. This was so good. Oh, man.
He definitely, I don't know. I do feel like a grudge match between Jean and Cinder would be really great.
I mean, I think that
considering-
this is also connected. Like,
Yeah.
Jean has lost Pyrrha,
Yeah.
and he was forced to kill Penny because of Cinder.
Yeah.
Like, Jean definitely has big beef with Cinder, and I feel like that Jean and Cinder have unfinished business at this point.
Yeah.
Way too much unfinished business. I'm so sad that Ironwood and Ozpin didn't get to talk this volume. Yeah, that is true, Arnold. That is kind of sad when you talk about it, when you mention that.
Yeah, I mean, but last time they had a conversation, one of them got shot. So I
Yeah.
imagine that...
Oh,
I imagine
boy.
that newer conversations wouldn't stray much from that.
I like this because her arm freaks out and
Yes.
they're like, oh, what the fuck is going on?
Oh no, Salem paged
And it
me.
seems like she's happy, right,
Yeah.
about that. And I really like this scene to see
Because
both
like
of
she's
her
kind
weapons.
of won, honestly.
Ah, this was such a good scene.
I'm so. Oh god, now
I
whenever
love the split.
whenever I see that fire V, I'm gonna have like trauma.
Yeah.
Oh god. When the
Here
scene
it is,
in our
Weiss with Gamble Shroud. Yeah, that was an amazing, amazing scene. I love to see Weiss with both weapons. It was so good.
Oh god, I'm so sad.
And Penny screams. Do we just want to stay on this screenshot for a minute?
Yeah, no, this is a wonderful time to bring in Big Bertha. Just really cut the emotional tension.
Well,
In the reaction, guys, if you've not seen the reaction, if you're not a Patreon, like I don't think we've both ever shut up so quickly.
I know.
In an episode of RWBY.
there's definitely
We
something
were
about...
panicking. Immediately
Like,
we hear
you
the
guys
noise.
just need to see the timeline. So we were talking, and then stopped for like 5 minutes. Like, we just stopped talking. Like,
It
was
took us a
crazy.
while to get over that one. Especially, like, this is the first time in a death in RWBY where we've stuck so close to the person dying.
Exactly, and like Penny now feels pain. Penny now has blood. Like that wasn't how Penny was before, right? And so I think that what was happening was that the transfer had sort of started, but then Weiss interrupted, right?
Yeah.
Weiss interrupted them. Penny never unlocked her aura. I mean, I think so. Like, I think that she had a little aura, but not like that much aura. Is episode 14 out? Well, I hope so. Because that's what we're watching. So yeah, episode 14 is out on the Rooster Teeth website, and then our reaction is out on Patreon, if that's what you meant. But yeah.
The fact that it keeps with Penny's perspective was like gut-wrenching. I couldn't deal.
Yeah. And so I think that this was really interesting because in theory, Jean could have healed Penny, but Cinder would just keep going after them. So ultimately, the decision by Penny was made in order for the powers to go somewhere safer. Even if you healed me, it would still be pretty bad. I would still be in no shape to defend the powers, right?
Yeah.
And so I feel like that's the reasoning why. It wasn't necessarily that there wasn't enough time for Jean, but it wasn't enough time, like, Weiss could have died at that time, and then, like, you know, like, Penny and Jean would have to escape to Vacuo, and even in Vacuo, Cinder could follow them, right? Like, she can't get the staff and the power, but there is something you can do, right? And so, she, like, goes up towards the sword and he's like, I don't know where the others are, but Weiss will give us time. Because he's expecting Nora to come in and hit Cinder at the back of the head, right? But Nora can't get in because she's pounding on the door. So really, I think that this is the only thing that Jean could have done.
Yeah, realistically.
Yeah, I think that this is
like,
the only
with the
thing she could have
information
done.
available to him, knowing or suspecting...
And this was also Penny's choice.
Yeah.
He could have healed her, but again, if they went through the vacuole portal, what's stopping from Cinder following and killing a bunch of refugees?
Yes.
Right? That's a problem. And so I feel like that this makes
And also,
the most
in the
sense.
process of running away, Cinder could just get them again.
Yeah, exactly. And so
so
really, like, healing her is less effective than killing Winter. Not killing Winter. Than them going to Winter.
Alternatively, he could have just picked her up and pushed them both over the edge, but they don't know what happens.
They don't know what happens. They think
But
that
in my head, I'm like, don't kill her, just jump over the edge.
But yeah, they didn't know that, right?
Yeah.
Now, well, actually, now that you say that, Hunter, do you think that Jean will feel survivor's guilt because he killed Penny but ended up falling and surviving in the world? And so he would have thought, if only I had known that this wouldn't have caused death, I could have healed Penny and she could still be with us. I feel like that Jean is going to have a lot of guilt for that, because think about it, if he didn't kill Penny, but him and her just jumped over, Penny could still be alive because Penny's could have been healed by Jean.
He's responsible for the death of how many redheads at this point?
No, he's not responsible.
The next time he
Kira.
sees her, oh no, he's not responsible, but like, I could have saved her.
I think that Jean is going to have major trauma because he's going to realize that he could have, instead of killing Penny, pushed them both over the edge and healed her, right? Or healed her and then both of them had jumped. And obviously he didn't know that, but I feel like he'll feel guilty about it. I don't think Ruby will get pissed at him. I think Ruby will be like, Jean, there's no way that you could have known that, right?
Yeah.
And then Jean will be like, but still.
But I think that they will have a really, especially if they're separated, they will have a very difficult moment of coming to terms.
I think that Jean is going to have a very difficult feeling about that. He's going to have trauma for sure. Yeah.
Not that he didn't already have enough of that.
And so I like this, though. Let me choose this one thing, because ultimately this is about Penny's choice, right? Yeah. And so I like how she, like, heads towards the blade, though.
Oh, the second that happened, I think we both screamed.
This was a very, like, Mulan moment for some reason. Like, when she looks at herself in the sword, that was just a really crazy shot.
It's so fucked up.
Yeah, and so you see Gamble Shroud into the void. At least Blake has the other half now. She can fix it. But, yeah, she was bleeding out too quickly for that to work. That's true, too. I mean, but Weiss's wound was cauterized, I guess, so.
Yeah.
Oh, Calxiyn, you sound like Ruby when you said that dialogue. Thanks, I try. But yeah, I really liked the cuts between the fight scenes back and forth. I thought that was really good. And so then you see Weiss fall, you see Winter fall, and her aura actually broke right here. So she couldn't summon anymore. So Ironwood, I think, would have killed her.
Oh, yeah.
To be honest. Do you think that John's decision will impact Ruby, who was asked for the same thing by the same person and refused? I think that it's definitely going to hurt. I think it's going to hurt a lot.
I don't think anyone's coming out of this emotionally unscathed.
Yeah, exactly. Jean's sword breaks too. Cal, did you see that I had predicted what happened with Weiss and Winter? I did not, Winter, but I did say during our fall video that Winter would see Weiss falling as soon as Weiss entered. And so I'm really proud of myself for that as well. So yeah. And so I think Jean stabbed her fatally. I think that's what happened. And so Cinder's about to kill Weiss, and then she realized, and see, so Cinder fucked up again because she was greedy. She wanted to kill Weiss and get Penny. At the same time, she wouldn't be able to get Penny without Weiss because she started to get Penny and Weiss got in the way. So I don't know. But yeah, and so this was, the shot of this scene.
The tears and so then the crazy. Blood, I was like, oh my god, it actually happened.
This is like the most fucked up thing that has ever happened in the show. Yeah. But I think he did fatally stab her.
Yeah. It's implied.
They also had a suicide hotline in the comments for the episode.
I was so excited for the episode, I didn't even like read it.
Well, that was in the description, not in the card. So there was actually a card at the very beginning that said there may be some disturbing scenes for some viewers, right? But then in the bottom, they put a suicide prevention hotline number, like, in the description and stuff, just because, like, obviously Penny makes the choice to die. But I don't think it was necessarily done in, like, a 13 reasons why type of situation. Like, it wasn't done in that, like, in any, like, in any way like that.
If anything, they do a great deal to not
and I
show
don't think
it
Penny
on screen.
wanted to either,
No.
right? So that's a bit different compared to, like, something like that.
Or, I mean, she wanted to in so much that she was doing it out of, like, a desperate necessity.
Yeah.
Which is not what that terrible
that
Netflix
word
show is like.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were gonna...
13 Reasons Why.
I thought you meant, like, the word that we can't say on YouTube.
Or else it'll get demonetized.
And
yes,
so I
that.
feel like that ultimately, I don't know, it's hard to explain. How does it feel that since John's weapon was upgraded by Pyrrha's armor? Oh no!
Oh,
now it's tied to Pyrrha's death and Penny's death, and it's broken.
Yeah.
I feel like at this point he'll just get the Sword of Destruction. Oh dear.
Oh, this is upsetting.
Oh! This shot reminds me of something. I think chat's saying it. This is like the shot in the Volume 7 opening, where she's happy and she's in that white void, and she does that smile. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
I think so, yeah.
Hold on. Do we want to pull up the Volume 7 opening? Hold on.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Somebody in the chat just said it, and as the chat said it, it like registered in my brain. That's so crazy. Hold on.
That's also interesting that presumably this conversation has happened with everyone. It happened with Penny and that other woman.
Well, I think I think that this is a bit different just because...
Imagine what the conversation would have been like between, like, Pyrrha and...
Yeah.
Cinder. I've been fucked up.
Okay, so see, Hunter, look at this. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, the 16 looking open.
It's buffering. But, like,
yes,
see that shot?
Where she's smiling, yes.
Yeah, so it's about... If you guys go look at the intro on YouTube, it's when Penny's smiling, and it's about 0:52. Here, look at this. I know that's a little scuffed, but it's the exact same... It's the exact same thing. Anyway, yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. So yeah, I hope that helped. It's in the Volume 7 intro. It was foreshadowing all along. That's so fucked. Amber and Cinder, yeah, like, I don't know if this conversation happens every time, or if this was just because Penny consciously chose Winter, whereas Amber did not consciously choose Cinder. So maybe it happened between Penny and Freya, but I don't think it happened between Amber and Cinder. It's when you constantly pick the next person.
I guess so. I don't know. Either way, it's like we didn't have to see it, so it's fine. I mean, this was a more or less an amicable conversation.
Yeah.
It probably would have been less so between Cinder and Pyrrha.
So, okay, so Dar is saying, if I'm gonna complain, I guess I'll super chat. Thank you, Dar. I don't think that Winter earned these powers. She was about to rob Penny of her autonomy until 10 minutes ago. I feel like that she ultimately did turn against Ironwood quickly enough for me to think she deserved it, but I think that that's the key here, is that Winter even says the same thing as you, Dar, like, she doesn't feel like she deserves it, right? But then Penny just reinforces that she knew that Winter was good all along, that Winter was a good friend to her all along, even if Winter was misguided. I feel like it'll be less like Winter has totally earned this, and more like Winter will learn to earn this now, right? Like, it'll be a learning thing for Winter, is that she'll still struggle with it. She'll still struggle with the idea that she got the power. She'll still feel badly, I think, about how she treated Penny. She'll struggle with her grief, with what happened to Weiss, with all of that stuff. And so I feel like that it's not necessarily like, wow, Winter has the maiden powers and she deserved them right now. Like, I feel like that it's also going to be about Winter learning. Like, I feel like Winter's going to have her own arc. It's not done yet. So I feel like that this is part of that arc more so. Winter isn't deserving, but she's worthy. Wow. I really like that.
Yeah.
That's kind of nice.
I don't necessarily know if I can tell the distinction between the two, but...
Well, Nora was right there. Well, she didn't see Nora, though, I guess. I don't know. That was kind of what I was thinking. I really did think Nora would have gotten them, but...
I mean, that was our old one.
I do see why. And I think that, though, people told me that they wouldn't like it if Nora got the maiden powers, because that would mean that her lease on life was given to her, or her independence was just given to her by another person.
Yeah.
And at first I didn't agree with that, but now seeing this, I think I do agree. I think that Nora needs to find herself in herself and in helping the refugees and being that sort of liaison for Vacuo without Team RWBY around. Like, Nora will step up in that role, and that's how Nora will develop as a character, right? So I feel like at this point, I actually agree with that idea that her getting the powers, Nora, I mean, would undermine her independence, because just like she was like, oh, it's been Ren and Nora, it would sort of be like, well, I'm Nora because of Penny. She just needs to be Nora because of Nora. So I think that ultimately, yeah, I think Arnold's right. Winter has clearly shown confliction about what she was forced to do with Ironwood, but she always wanted to do the right thing for people, like she told Weiss in Volume 7. And she even tells Penny, like, I don't want to do this, but this seems like the right choice, and then she changed, right? Yeah. Yeah.
It's very, yeah, I know, I genuinely support the
She's
moves
still with Ren. I get that, and that's why I kind of wanted her to fall in the void, but I feel like that even though she's with Ren, her whole thing was not like, I need to ignore you for the next year and find myself. It was just about them being in a romantic relationship. So even though she's with Ren, I think that really what it'll be about is taking a leadership role, as opposed to her and Ren. It'll be Nora led by, or it'll be Ren led by Nora, if that makes sense. Right? Like, not to say that she's gonna be bossy or, like, take over and make all the unilateral decisions, if that makes sense. Like, I still feel like that they're gonna work as a team, but I just think that Nora, especially without Robin there, the Happy Huntresses may look to Nora, and Nora will have to do the thing, and then Ren will probably let her because he trusts her, and she'll grow as a person in that way. Winter and Penny have known each other longer since Penny was created. That's also true. That's very true. Thank you for the super chat, Avalon.
I also kind of, if anything, the really controversial thing I've seen is that people don't like the idea that Jean is going into this world with Team RWBY.
Yeah. I mean, I like that, though, if it's the afterlife, so he can go talk to Pyrrha. I understand.
Yeah, I agree. But also, like, there's a couple people, like, there's all those other people that were knocked in there. There was
I
Neo,
guess that's true. But they may be dead because they could have died based off of being blown up versus falling in the hole.
That's true.
Because, like, Cinder literally exploded them, and unless you're a huntsman, you have no aura, so that would have just killed people.
I don't know, they looked like they still had all their limbs when they were flying down there, so my assumption was that they were just blown in.
Leadership is a great thought for Nora. They don't have Jean either. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm thinking. And, like, I wonder why Jean was sent with the girls. I genuinely think because it's gonna be the afterlife and they're gonna see Pyrrha. Like, I'm 10,000% sure that that's why Jean went in there. You could argue, like, oh, but Ren could have fallen and he could have seen his father, or, like, oh, Nora could have fallen and she could have talked to her mom. But when you think about it, it's like, would Ren seeing his dad really change anything for Ren? I don't think so, because Ren has always taken away the lesson that his father taught him before his father died, and so I don't feel like talking to him would impart any new wisdom. It would just be like, yeah, like, you did what you kept doing. Like, you listened to me about not being a bystander. Good for you. And that would end the conversation. The only thing I could see is Nora talking to her mom about why her mom left her, if her mom's down there too. But I feel like the reason why everyone fell, the reason why the people fell, I'm 100% sure, is because Neo will see Roman, Weiss will see Jacques and Nicholas Schnee, Blake will see Adam, okay? Yang, I don't know. Yang could see something. We'll see what
maybe
Yang
Yang
sees.
and RWBY see Summer.
Yeah. Nora's mom may still be alive. That's true. So yeah, basically what I'm saying is I think that Jean is a more satisfying character to go with the girls. And so is Neo. Like, Neo is satisfying in that exact same way, in my opinion. We thought something was gonna happen to Ren or Nora, but nope, it was Jean. But Jean's not dead. I thought that Ren or Nora would die, but they're fine. It's Jean that's... Yeah, I mean, I guess you're right then, Monkey. I guess that's true. But thank you for the $5 super chat anyway. But yeah, I have this whole theory about the afterlife planned out. Like, I hope you guys are ready. But let's talk about this scene. Thought of you, and here we are. Oh, Penny. So this is Winter realizing that Penny died, right? And so people are like that Penny seems too happy. I think it's just because the afterlife will bring you some motherfucking peace, you know what I mean?
I also think that what she did here was that she was just trying to protect her friends.
Yeah.
Like and I think a big part of Penny's character is that she's always told what she has to do, what she has to be. And her character development in volumes 7 and 8 is her deciding for herself what she wants to be. And I think if this is just an example of, in her death, she's able to choose what that means. Mm-hmm. And so I think maybe that's why she seems happy.
Yeah.
She's also just unflappably a joyous person.
Yeah, I agree. But I think it's also, like, that sort of not quirky, what do you call it? Cliche, like, there's no pain when you're dead, right? Hold on, let's read the chat. Would Penny be there in the afterlife? Maybe. Arnold says, I don't think it's going to be as much of an afterlife as much as some kind of mental trippy fantasy realm where the protagonist will face their mental hurdles of their past. So it could be, but I feel like that ultimately that's the exact same thing. Whether it's a real Roman or an imaginary Roman that changes Neo, I don't think that it actually matters. Even if it's just a manifestation of Neo's psyche, I don't think that matters at all. Or a manifestation of Jean's psyche. Because ultimately, like, it's not like Pyrrha needs to be alive for her character development. It's one-sided in a way. And so even if it's not afterlife in the traditional sense I'm thinking, in that, like, oh, you know, like Orpheus and Eurydice, they go up with Penny and they have to leave her behind, like, whatever, I still feel like that, I don't know. I forgot what I was saying. I still feel like that either way, everyone will see
it's a mixture.
The people.
Yeah,
even if they're not real Arnold, right?
Personally, with me, is that I didn't think you would see, like, a carbon copy of their remnant version there. I think you would see some kind of trippy, twisted, alternative universe version. Like, what if they saw a version of, I don't know, like Adam, but who was, like, kind and decent human being.
Yeah,
or like
that's what I was thinking too.
A version of Roman who was like not a criminal and like, hey, get out of this, do some good.
Almost like a version of Adam, but he's mellowed out, or a version of Roman where he's just like insane, like literally insane. That's what I was sort of thinking.
Or I imagine like Roman, but he's more like, hey, you're better than this. Go off,
that's what
something.
I was thinking too.
Yeah, I don't know how that would happen with Jacques. Maybe you see Jacques and he feels bad.
Yeah, maybe Jacques and Nicholas are hanging out, and Jacques finally feels bad. But I kind of see like Weiss could ultimately see Nicholas instead.
Yes.
Right. But yeah, I think that it'll be a mixture of the afterlife theory and the Wonderland, like not Wonderland, but other realm theory. Like it may not be literal Pyrrha, but it'll at least be like imaginary Pyrrha.
In my head, I think the best way I can describe it is that I imagine that people are like reincarnated here.
Yeah.
Like it's Pyrrha, but she looks a little different and she acts a little different. It's just it's a almost mirror world to the real world. Yeah. Is how I imagine it.
So Dara's saying that it's not the literal final word, but the metaphorical final word, that Penny has the last say in how things turned out. That's kind of nice, because, like, obviously the literal final word was checkmate. Like, this volume's supposed to be, or this episode's supposed to be called Checkmate. But, like, Penny ultimately, like, got the final say. Twisted memories of all the people they know, that's my theory. Yeah, I don't know. But Jean's gonna redeem Neo? I don't think Jean's gonna redeem Neo. I think Roman...
Neo's gonna
redeem Neo. Yeah.
Also, redeem, very lightly I use that word.
Yeah. And so I feel like, I mean, we'll talk about it more. I want to think about it more as well. But I feel like ultimately, it's probably gonna be a mixture of a bunch of things. But I don't think it's going to be scary. I think that I should preface that. Like, I don't think that it's gonna be... fucked. I don't think that this is going to be an apathy episode.
No.
Maybe looks can be deceiving.
But it seems pretty cheery.
But it seems like a pretty cheery place. And maybe that's the argument. You guys could be like, it looks cheery, but it's fucked up.
I was going to save this to our later video about it, but like, I suspect it might be the case that like, what if RWBY land there and what if one of them, maybe Jean, doesn't want to go back?
Yeah, he just wants to stay.
Because he just wants to like have his peace here.
Yeah.
I could see maybe that happens with Neo.
I was thinking that too. Like Neo would stay with Roman in the afterlife, but then ultimately Roman would encourage her to go back and live her full life first, because you can always come back here later. Yeah. Sort of thing. Robinson said, what if they find out Summer isn't dead because they can't find her in the afterlife? Yes, that is my theory. I said that a couple days ago, but that's what I was thinking, is that they'd go meet all these people in the afterlife, and the big twist would be that they don't find Summer because she's not dead.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was your power after all. No, Penny, you were always the real maiden at heart. And so, again, this is why I don't think that Winter, like, it's, like, unearned because Winter's recognizing that she fucked up and she was kind of bad.
I also like how she describes herself as, like, I am the machine. I think relating that to Penny is interesting.
Guys, I don't think that it's gonna be just one. Like, people are like, oh, it's gonna be Wonderland, it's gonna be Neverland, it's gonna be
a hodgepodge.
Everything, right?
Yeah.
Because think about RWBY. Is RWBY just Little Red Riding Hood? No, right? And so when you think about it, they don't need to choose one. I don't think that they're gonna choose a single one, if that makes sense. Don't trust Cheery. Cheery is often a false front. I mean, I guess that's true, but also, like, I don't know. I feel like that there's something about the old world and, like, the magic of it that seemed genuine, I guess.
Or maybe, like, depending on where they travel to it'll change.
Yeah, that's true, too. But we'll see.
Because, like, so far, if it is that in-between
I haven't decided yet, I guess. You know?
I
haven't decided if it's going to be bad or not. Anyone aware of the release date for Volume 9? It's going to be at least in October, guys. Fall. It's always fall. It's always fall. Well, it isn't a good place since Ambrosius said not to fall. That doesn't mean that it's not a good place. Ambrosius said not to fall, so you know, don't miss out on your life in Remnant. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think that it's necessarily a bad place just because Ambrosius said not to fall. Like, it could still be a nice place, but it's, like, not the place that you want to be.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, I think it's gonna be an amalgamation.
Amalgamation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, maybe the conflict will be they don't want to leave. Exactly.
I think that could be the conflict for someone. My guess is there's Jean or Neo.
Yeah, and so I really like this scene with Weiss and Penny and the transfer. I think this was really, really nice.
Oh, I'm gonna miss
Narnia,
her.
yeah, I like Narnia too. I think that fits in very well. A character based on the Cheshire Cat? Yeah, maybe. Could it mean it's hard to escape? Yeah, I think that's why Ambrosius said not to fall, because it could be hard to escape. But could it be hard to escape because it's so much better than real life? Just saying. Right? You know
there's only 4 exits.
I'm just saying, like, it could be hard to escape because it's so enticing and because it's such a nice place. And because it's such a peaceful place with no grim. So, it could be, like, kind of like a Coraline thing. Coraline, like,
maybe,
you know, has all this, like, fun stuff, all this food, all this and that.
Oh, God, if we see Roman and he has button eyes, I'm gonna scream
and
run
out of the room. Not button eyes. But yeah, when you're gone, I won't be gone. I'll be part of you. And so I think that was really nice. I really like this. I like the voice lines, too, from Winter here. That was really, really good. Yeah. Winter and Penny's interaction. See, the smile is a smile from the OP. From the Volume 7 OP.
No, her hair is swooshing.
I know, but I'm saying, like, it's the same.
Yeah, she's smiling in a white void.
Right? Damn. Yeah. Torchwick can be the Mad Hatter. Yeah, I like it. I do like it. I love the eyeshadow. Thank you. Some people in the chat were bullying me earlier. I saw that there was one person that was like, oh, that eyeshadow's not it, sis. Fuck you. And so, I don't know if they're still here. I didn't give them any attention. I just ignored it. I don't know if the mods handled it. But, like, guys, you guys have to understand, okay? RWBY's color palettes are not, like, cohesive. I knew when I put this on my face that this is not a cohesive makeup look. Yeah. This isn't, like, a purple to pink gradient or something. You know what I mean? Like, these colors don't blend. So yeah, anyway. Holy shit, it really is. That was probably in reaction to the OP thing again, me pointing out the OP thing. Winter always had internal conflict and deems herself unfit for certain privileges she feels like she hasn't rightfully earned. Exactly. And so I feel like that she'll that'll still be a struggle for her, and then she'll overcome. You know?
She will overcome. I am so sad though. She's just gone. Like she became like I didn't really love Penny.
You thought Penny was Nora for a long time.
Before Volume 3 happened, when I watched Volume 1 and 2 in the same day, I think on Netflix, all one episode or as like 2 movies, I mistook Nora and Penny as the same person.
Yeah.
So going from that to like in Volume 7 and 8, her being like my favorite character, to her dying is an emotional roller coaster for me.
It's so hard Because, like, I kind of knew it was gonna happen, but at the same time, it hasn't set in. It feels a lot like Hazel, where I just feel sort of empty inside. There's a penny-shaped hole.
I liked Hazel.
There's a penny-shaped hole where Hazel used to, not where Hazel used to be, where Penny used to be, and then where Hazel used to be, right? Her glyphs are gonna be so powerful. True. Very true.
I'm also concerned, like, oh god, like, what else? What new characters can they kill that hurt me? And I'm like, Emerald.
I'm confused on how Jean was involved. He stabbed her, I think. It has blood on it. I think Jean stabbed her.
It's implied that.
I'll show you guys in a minute. And I like this. So Ironwood's like, I see you finally. So the destiny I chose for you has arrived. I think that was funny because could he tell that she got the maiden powers, or did he mean her dying? Here.
I don't know. I think it is the maiden powers.
Yeah.
Because she says this is a gift, as though they were implying.
But he seems surprised, though. So that's the only thing I don't understand is why he said the destiny I chose for you has arrived. But then he's surprised at the fact that she's gonna, like, fucking yeet this man. So that's the only thing I was confused about. Do you guys know why Ironwood said that? Because I thought he said it as in, oh, the maiden powers that you were supposed to get have finally arrived, and then she's just like, oh, you didn't choose this was a gift. Mm-hmm. But I don't understand why Ironwood looks so shocked then that she's like she's like, you know, doing a little Fantasia and doing the little, like, you know, the water and the ice and stuff. And so do you guys know? I think
maybe he didn't think that she would be able to use the powers so quickly afterwards, potentially.
Okay, I'll vibe with that. That's fine.
Because even Penny seemed to have taken her a little bit. So the fact that Winter immediately goes in and starts kicking ass.
So satisfying for Ironwood to fall with Atlas. I agree. Mm-hmm. Like, I think that was great because...
Captain went down with his ship.
That was my whole thing, is that Ironwood would go down with the ship, and I really, really liked that.
And so did Watts, funnily enough. Which is funny when you think about it, because Watts always wanted to be the captain of Atlas, and he ends up going down with the ship. I don't think he wanted to be the captain. He wanted to be like, he wanted to be Ironwood. He wanted to be respected and in a high position. And now he's like kind of going down to the ship just like a captain would. There's a bit of a parallel there.
The fight scene where Winter and Cinder fight shows how powerful Winter will be. Her semblance is already OP, and now a Maiden Volume 9 is going to be so good. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat, Marco. I totally agree. It was just a spectacle, Cal.
That's also true.
I guess so. But yeah, I really like Winter. Damn, Winter's... I'm a simp. That's it. I love the conflict and the parallels that are now going to exist between Winter and Cinder that we talked about all the way in Volume 7, but then we sort of dropped because we were like, oh, Penny has the powers, Winter won't get them. Right? And so, yeah, that's basically what's going on.
Back when we thought it was Nora that was going to get it, truthfully.
we thought that Winter would get it because of the Cinder stuff, but then she didn't get it, and then Penny got it, and then we were like, oh, Nora may get it, and now Winter has it, right? So it's almost like a reverse, right? Because we thought Winter would get it, then she didn't, so we dropped the theory. Then we thought that Penny would be would die, and they would go to Nora, but now they didn't go to Nora, they went to Winter, which is what we thought in the first place. Right? Well, yeah, and you're right, because we thought they'd go to Nora because we thought that Freya was Nora's grandma.
Yes.
And so then we thought, oh, well, maybe they'll go to Winter. That was our secondary idea because the Winter and Cinder backstory, Schnee versus poor person thingy. And then they went to Penny. And then we were like, okay, well, now they'll go to Nora, right? If Penny dies again, they'll go to Nora. And then it went on to Winter. So it was
I also like that it went to Winter when she was ready for it. When she deserved it.
Exactly. It was just like reverse. Oh God, thank you, Emerald Morgan, for the $5 super chat. If you wanted to put in a message, let me know. I'll still read it, even though it didn't come along with your post. But look at this shot. What was this?
It's a weird. I guess that's when the explosion.
Oh, I love that.
I love the details on the guns. Do you remember in Volume 5 when Emerald is shooting and all they did was those little bomb blast green things?
Look at how far we've come. Yeah. Wow, look at Winter. Winter's now Elsa for real now, by the way.
Yeah, kinda, honestly.
It's so funny how Weiss is knocked out and Cinder just left her there because she was so mad about Penny. But it's also funny because, like, Weiss is Snow White and now she's, like, knocked out. I'm just saying, but yeah.
I also like that Cinder has not even, like, she's gotten so close to taking someone else's maiden power like twice
So
now.
see, Jean has Penny's blood
Yeah.
on his sword.
Oh, God.
He killed her. So,
Yeah.
if
in the
anyone was
actual
wondering.
scene, you hardly see it because
Yeah.
it goes by so fast, and I think they did.
They did that so you wouldn't think
Yeah.
about it to that
And it's
extent.
also, I think that's also why they're not having like Penny lie in an
Yeah.
increasingly growing pool of blood.
They didn't want to make a spectacle, I
Yeah.
think, out of.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, I mean, like, Clover had a bit of a blood pool, right?
I think
But
so.
maybe they
I don't
learned
know.
from that.
I don't know.
Of doing something so, like,
People reacted to it poorly.
like, graphic or
Yeah.
gory. Personally, that doesn't bother me. Like, gore doesn't bother me. This Jean crying reminds me of how Jean cried when he hit Cinder in Volume 4. Right, when he was like,
Oh,
how can
yeah.
you be so empty
Mhm.
inside, and he starts to cry. And so Jean crying again. Like, I know that people are like, oh, why do female characters keep dying for Jean's development? And it's like, listen, I'm the
I think
first one
Pyrrha
to tell
died
you.
for her own means.
Yeah, like, I'll be the first one to tell you, okay? I hated Jean until Volume 7. Or maybe Volume 6.
We used to get so much shit in
hated
Volume
John.
4 and 5 by like the John stands because we didn't like John.
Don't come to tell me that you think that this is like, oh, Penny died to serve Jean's character,
Mhm.
okay? I hated Jean. Not just Volume 5, sorry. I don't know which volume I said.
Yeah.
I hated Jean. I'll be the first person to tell you if Jean is being too much of a main character, okay? Here's the thing. Penny did not die for Jean's character development. Penny died for her development, for Winter's development, for probably Ruby's development, right? Like for not Pietro, he probably won't be that relevant, but like, Pietro's gonna be affected too.
Also,
like, it's not just
Penny died.
for Jean.
Penny died as an end to her own character arc.
Yeah, like
of her
Penny
becoming
died as a result
control
of
of
her
her own
character arc,
destiny.
right? So Penny died for Penny died for Winter, Penny died for, for probably Team Ruby as well, for Team Ruby. It's
Like,
not just Jean.
Ruby's gonna be like destroyed when she
Yeah.
learns of what happened to
Exactly.
Penny.
It's just like how people were like, like Pyrrha died for Jean's development. Like, that wasn't it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Pyrrha also died for, like, Ruby's development, too.
Yeah.
And as an end to her own, like, character stuff as well.
And also just to like impart, like hit home, like, hey, this is some serious
Yeah.
shit. Characters can
So
die.
I don't think there should be no Jean slander in this chat, okay? If somebody's gonna slander Jean, it's gonna be me, okay?
I am the only one. This is my YouTube channel. I'm the only one that gets to bully Jean.
She lived as a machine but died as a girl. Yeah, she died for everyone, exactly.
Mhm. Our Lord and Savior Penny. She died for all
I
of
noticed
us.
that the part of the sword that gets cut off is the bloody part. Symbolic because it's not his fault. Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that. That's
works.
that's very good. But yeah, I think that Jean, it's not for Jean, guys. Like, Jean is going to probably have a lot of feelings about it, but it's not for Jean. And I think that a lot of people are going to be, like, upset about that, but, like, if this is going to affect him and Ruby. That's just a fact, and I don't feel like that's a bad thing at all. So, yeah. And so, anyways, having this go down, pretty crazy. And Cinder must be pissed, because this dude that she didn't even remember, right? Who are you again? That she didn't even remember from Volume 5 just fucked up literally all her plans. Yeah, so the bloody part gets cut off, and I think that's, again, representative like the chat had said.
What if he ends up having like a short sword from now on?
Maybe, but I sort of think of it more as
But
the
yeah, I
blood
like the
got
metaphor, it
washed
works.
from his hands type of thing. I think that, honestly, he will get the Sword of Destruction. I know that, like, somebody in the chat mentioned all the crazy Jean theories we used to get commissioned to do. Yeah, that was a dark time. But I actually think that the Relic of Destruction and Jean wielding it isn't that crazy, just because the King of Vale apparently wielded it in battle, and so
I suppose so.
could be a thing. I
I
think that's a
I
less
also like the idea of him.
making Jean the main harem protagonist theory. I think that that's not that big of a deal.
I also like the idea of just like he could just get an upgraded sword.
Yeah.
Again. I think it would be neat.
Oh, I love this. I love how she was about to just strangle, and where
I
did
love
it
how
go?
she gets-
It went here!
I love how she gets whacked at the side twice. Like first by Blake and then by Winter.
Not all saw blood, which means he somewhat still feels guilty. Yes, exactly. Yeah. I feel like he's gonna feel guilt, but he'll eventually, like, you know, move on and recognize it wasn't his fault. Like, he was just the tool for Penny's choice. He didn't kill Penny. He assisted Penny in making that choice. I know that sounds kind of weird, but that's how I see it,
Someone,
I guess.
Mouse Fox says the Arcs are going to be so pissed when John comes back with the broken family
maybe
relic.
Like Mulan, where Mulan brings back, like, hey, Dad, sorry your sword got fucked, but I brought this instead. Like, I think that something like that happens, right? So...
It's unfortunate, that, yes, I broke the family heirloom, but
now I have the Relic of Destruction!
I have the Relic of Destruction. Also, nice world that you lived in. I wonder who saved it for you.
Yeah, exactly.
As I imagine.
Right? The King of Vale wielded the Sword of Destruction. Yes, exactly. And so, a lot of people think that, like, yeah, people used to think that John's sword was the relic, but now I think that John will just get the relic. So, yeah. Yeah, and so I really like, oh man, look how beautiful winter is here. Ah, my Elsa.
The shot is pretty excellent. I think when this happens, you audibly like, she's beautiful.
Yeah, I know, like, oh, she's so beautiful. And look at this. Oh.
It reminded me so much of that Volume 5 Raven.
Yeah.
I can't get Raven off my mind.
Too. Like, in a good way, because Volume 5 was kind of scuffed in a lot of ways, but, like, in a good way.
I feel like we should make a video about, like, fixing Volume 5.
Maybe, but anyway, like, this was so good, and I feel like the parallels and the foils will be so good here, and I can't wait for it, but the time to talk about that is, like, not today. It'll be a day, though. Like, I mean, we already made a video about that in Volume 7. So we had a theory that Cinder and Winter were related, but then after that we sort of talked about all the parallels. Winter has a hereditary strong semblance. She's a Schnee. She has all of these privileges in life. She's a privileged, rich Schnee, whereas Cinder was poor and abused and adopted and like very, very bad things. So I think that this is like amazing, like, oh, this conflict's gonna be so good. Everything that we talked about, so good. So good right here.
That's a spicy meatball.
Exactly, it is a spicy meatball. I love this. I love all of the like how they can be foils to each other. I can't wait to talk about it. It's gonna be so great. Summer Maiden is Sun's cousin. Blake is Sun's friend. Cousin will be like Blake. What was that sort of logic? We see Sun's cousin in the book. So don't worry. There's 2 relics left. What if the God of Light and God of Darkness are the spirits of the last 2 relics? I don't think that makes sense though, because the creation relic should have been the God of Light. So I think that they all are just spirits, but I think that maybe what could happen is that these 2 relics are from the light, and then the choice relic and the darkness relic are from the darkness. Yeah. And so some people have theorized, and I totally agree with this, that instead of the blue and gold color scheme, the color scheme for the next 2 spirits will be purple and silver, and that'll be the vibe, because it'll be, those 2 will be the darkness, because think about it, choice, like when you think about choice in like the Bible and stuff, like, free will is obviously, like, given by God, but at the same time, it's sort of
kind of
like...
goofed us. We kind of...
Choice is also, like, you have the choice to go down the path of darkness. You know what I mean? Like, instead of being... I don't know, it's kind of hard, because choice overlaps with free will, and so it's hard to explain, like, the biblical, like, intricacies of all that, but I see choice as being more of the darkness thing, and then, obviously, destruction is darkness. So that's how I sort of see it.
They might also view choice as darkness.
Exactly, right? Because I think that it was implied to be the reverse, where the God of Darkness may have given them knowledge and destruction, but I don't know. I mean, nobody has dominion over one section of the relic, so ultimately, I think that would be cool. Yeah, vibe with the purple and silver relics, exactly. And so I really love that idea. It would kind of go against John's color scheme, though, if it was silver and purple, so it kind of, if they were all gold and blue, it would kind of go better, but... Maybe he won't wield the sword.
Or he just gets still has
But yeah, look at this fight, bro.
The fight was excellent. I love the birds come out. Look at all her birds. That Volume 3 reference.
Yeah, that was so nice. And I love this, though.
The swords,
all the swords. This is actually very Penny-esque.
And I love how each of the sword is slightly different. I love how that's her motif.
Yeah. But, think about, like, how Penny had a bunch of swords. Like, when you see Pyrrha fighting Penny, and Pyrrha thinks that she sees a bunch of swords behind her, right?
Okay, so I'm noticing something here. I don't know if this is intentional, but that kind of looks like the throwing knives from Naruto, and that kind of looks like the Soul Calibur.
Well, it's probably just different
from
kinds
Soul
of weapons,
Calibur.
right?
That could be the case, or I wonder if it was also the one in the corner there.
Yeah.
That has such a distinct shape that I wonder if they
just
did
a bunch
like,
of swords that Cinder has liked over the years.
Yeah, like if there's, imagine if one of them was a Keyblade, or just little...
her swords even look like roads in a way.
Yeah,
we talked about
that's true
that,
when you think
right?
about it.
Unlimited blade works, oh god.
I just think it would be interesting if they like were able to throw some like Easter eggs in the background.
So chat is asking, do you think that they will bring the stories from Before the Dawn and After the Fall for Volume 9? I don't think that they will bring in the stories as in, here's what happened in the books, right? I don't think that they're gonna do that, but I could see two different things. I could see the Crown group from the book being relevant to Salem somehow. Alternatively, I think that something that they should really consider is doing an animated version of the books. Maybe that'll have to be after RWBY's finished, but honestly, I would be okay if Volume 9 was delayed in favor of getting a short OVA type series where they cover the Team Coffee books. And I don't know if anyone else feels that way, but imagine this, okay? Volume 9 doesn't come out until 2022, but like the October 2022. Yeah. So instead of 2021, it doesn't come out until 2022. And instead of doing Volume 9 this year, in October 2021, they do the books animated, and like half of the season is the first book, and the second half of the season is the second book. Because I don't know if
I think the books. I don't know if I would. I don't know about that.
Why not?
I don't know about that.
They would give them more time to work on Volume 9, though. If they make something else
But then,
instead.
like, what other than, like, what B team is going to be working on those OVAs?
Well,
and will they be good? Or, like, why not just read the book?
I mean, RWBY 0 was animated by the 3D team, too, right?
Yeah.
And the 3D team was working on RWBY, so clearly they split up.
I guess so.
Right?
But also, RWBY...
RWBY 0
wasn't good.
I know it wasn't good, so I'm saying that instead of RWBY 0, we'll just have RWBY Team 1 and RWBY Team 2.
Okay.
And there'll be two teams in the animation department.
But also, like, Genlock would be starting up again.
Yeah, but Genlock's not being animated by Rooster Teeth.
It's not?
No, they announced that it's being animated by some, like, random studio.
Oh.
The studio put out, like, we're looking for animators to animate Genlock starring Michael B. Jordan, so Rooster Teeth's not even animating it anymore.
Interesting.
So, yeah, basically my suggestion is to trash Red versus Blue, okay, and instead to animate the books. I don't think that fans would riot, though, because if it gives them more time, like, fans are already saying, not everyone, okay, whatever, but some people are already saying, why does RWBY come out every year? Why don't they take a little bit more time to refine the seasons? Like, I know that You All Right has proposed, like, instead of coming out once a week, RWBY should come out every 2 weeks, where, say, you have Saturday 1 for first members, Saturday 2 for public, and then you have a break. Then the next episode comes out, right? And so a 2-week break instead.
Oh,
and did they sell Genlock? Another studio's animating it, right? And so I feel like that ultimately, like, the fans that have some common sense are already saying that RWBY should take longer breaks, I think. Because I understand what people are saying, like, oh, like RWBY, like, it should come out every year. Like, that's so entitled, though. To want it to come out every year is so entitled.
But, like, all TV shows do that. Most
do.
Do. Have, like,
once a year?
Yeah, have, like, a semi-regular season
I know, but they could
out.
just do it a little later. Right? Like, I'm not saying not to do it every year as in not to do it in October, but I'm saying to put more time in between episodes.
I'm okay if it ended up that, you know, they had to be a little later. Like, if instead of October, it's released in, like, December or November. But, like, a whole year?
I'm thinking of spreading out the episodes more, though, per se.
Spreading out, that's also fine. I mean, it would probably serve our benefits because more time for theorizing, but it would, like, brutalize everyone else.
But, yeah, I'm just saying that this conversation started happening because somebody asked us about, like, what they'll do with the books. I think they'll just keep the books as books. They'll either just animate the books, or they will be like, they're not going to be like, here's what happened in the books. Like, they'll probably reference things from the books, but they're not going to tell the audience what happened in the books.
But like,
Does that make sense?
Do you even really, is any of the information that happens in the books totally necessary?
It's not necessary.
Or could you just have a scene of like, oh my god, Blake, like, or Son meeting Blake for the first time in like a couple months, and they're like, oh my god, what happened? Like, well, and then he goes off on some
that's what I'm saying. I don't want
monologue.
that. I don't really want stuff like that, you know? Like, I think
that could be a fun comedic moment, but like, the idea of animating it feels redundant for me because I've already read the book.
But they're animating the fairy tale books, so why animate the fairy tale books and not the comic books?
I thought the fairy tale animated show wasn't like directly taking stuff from the book, but new
I think it is the books.
Is that guaranteed?
It is the stuff from the books.
Or is that just an assumption?
It has the same logo as the book. So I don't know. I mean,
we'll
have to see.
We'll have to see. I personally, I think it's okay if they keep it.
But yeah, I don't think that as an anime, it should come out once a week. I don't think so. I don't think that it should. Why? That's arbitrary. That's like, you know what I mean?
This seems like a weird thing to pick a fight about, Cal.
I mean, yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like, I think every 2 weeks sounds like a good idea. And I think
it's an option. I mean, I'll turn, like, a bunch of shows.
Think about, like, Hell of a Boss. Hell of a Boss comes out once a month, and it comes out once a month around the same time. That's kind of nice.
It's a different type of show.
I know, but I'm just saying. I don't want to wait 2 years. Well, listen, guys, I can't help you, okay?
But also, like, I don't think that's happening. Like, they're in production right now for that show.
Yeah, they're in production for Volume 9.
I just think that factually that hasn't happened
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying, though, is, like, I don't think it is happening. I'm just saying that it wouldn't be a bad idea for them to spread stuff out a little more. Okay. Is what I meant. But yeah.
Also, they've already spread stuff out. They had a month-long break.
I'm saying they should spread stuff out some more. Oh, dear. But I think that they should... I think that they should animate the books after RWBY is over. Because you guys are saying that animating them would take sales away from the books, but, like, ultimately, does making an anime adaptation take away sales from the manga? Like, I'm pretty sure that it's proven that after something gets an anime adaptation, people go and buy the manga.
Yeah, but, like, manga is, like, a lot of people read manga that don't read novels.
That's true. That's the
Even,
only
like,
difference.
those RWBY are pretty light fare, but still.
I mean, it's a middle grade fiction book.
Yeah,
like, it's not, you know what I mean? If you won't read something without any pictures, I don't know how to help you with that either. But yeah, like, I think that ultimately, I think that after RWBY's done, that would be a good idea for them to do. Like, after RWBY's done as a whole.
Yeah.
I mean, like, because, I don't know, like, the shelf life, what is really the shelf life of a book? You know what I mean?
Most books after 10 to 15 years aren't being published anymore.
Exactly. And so I'm saying
eventually
the sales of the book will dwindle naturally. And so when the sales of the book naturally dwindle, that'll be time to make the animation series.
Sure.
Girl, it's been 10 minutes on the After the Fall adaptation.
It has been. It has been, Cal.
It doesn't matter. Guys, it is the last episode of the volume. Where do you have to be right now? It's the last episode until next year. You can't let me talk about After the Fall for 10 minutes? Like, where are we going? Where are we going? No, I'm serious. What are you looking at me like that,
Hunter?
It's
just such a weird tangent, anyway.
Well, somebody brought it up.
Someone brought it up, but I feel like the fact that you then get like, no, this is the right thing to do.
Well, I'm bringing up some options, okay?
Okay, just sure. It just seemed kind of out of left field.
I really would like them to animate the books someday.
I mean, yeah, it would be cool.
And I would like them to take some breaks.
It just seems like a weird thing to do. I feel like the more obvious thing for them to do would be something like a Happy Huntresses spinoff or Team Stark spinoff or like.
What do you mean though? In the show?
Yeah.
The Happy Huntresses are with us. How's that a spinoff if they're
Or like
still
no,
with us?
like what happened before, like their earlier stories.
But they could do all that when RWBY's over too.
Yeah, I know. That just sounds. That just makes more sense.
There's so much RWBY content to make after RWBY's over. Don't worry, guys.
Because that just, or like they would do like spin-off stuff. I don't know if I would necessarily like that. I feel like it runs into like the Star Wars issue of.
I guess.
Like you don't have to nitpick every individual
blank
part in the story's history.
But I kind of like that though. I want Team Coffee spin-off, Team Stark spin-off, Happy Huntress, maybe spin off of what they were doing before.
I don't know. I don't want it to be like Naruto, like Boruto, where it's just like, okay, let's...
Cal should make a video on RWBY getting longer production cycle. I'll make it.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean they'll listen to me because they all ultimately, they want to make money. But here's the thing. If Rooster Teeth wants to make money, why not spread out how the episodes come out? Because you would keep people subscribed longer to Rooster Teeth first, the longer the show goes on for. And so if you did it every 2 weeks instead of every 1 week, that would double the amount of time that the show runs for and would bleed into other months.
But like, you also have to think about their release schedule. Like, RWBY would, like, probably plow over other stuff they want to release.
Like what?
I know, but that's the thing, is that they don't want, like, they're not releasing stuff, but they don't want to just be the RWBY people. Unfortunately, Rooster Teeth is slowly becoming
I don't think
just
that's
the RWBY
true,
people.
though, because they're not doing anything anymore. They're just saying, we'll make stuff if you buy it, right? We'll give you the idea for Genlock, but you do all the work. We'll give you the idea for Arizal, but you do all the work. We'll give you Camp, but you need to buy it first, Netflix. That's how Rooster Teeth operates now. So I think that they are basically just doing the RWBY show.
I feel like this is an issue about Rooster Teeth as a company and has less to do with the episode and less to do about RWBY.
Yeah, like somebody's bringing up that could piss people off, but I feel like that the people that would get pissed would ultimately be outnumbered by the people that would pay for it. Because we paid RWBY this year. You know what I mean? Like, we paid RWBY this year even though it went way past how long.
But also, we don't know how many people unsubscribed during that month break.
They could have, but they would come back. But,
I guess so.
I mean, it depends on when the month falls. What if there's one episode in January and then you pay for January, right?
I guess so. Yeah, I don't know. Like, you wonder, like, if there's the frustration of, like, less content per month, would that result in more people pirating stuff? I think it's a possibility.
I think that's like, what do you call it? Like, it's like if you, I don't know how to explain it, but if I put something at the $10 tier on Patreon and 100 people will pledge for it, but instead I could put something on the $100 tier on Patreon and 10 people would pledge for it, then it's ultimately better to have a smaller percentage to get the same amount of money.
But
so I can see it that way.
Also, the only people who know whether or not it's best to sell
would
at
be
the
them,
100
right?
or the 10, and I have a suspicion that it might be the 10.
Yeah, and so, I mean, obviously, they'll have to see.
I love how we started talking about business during, like, one of the best fight scenes RWBY has had.
Well, I don't know.
No, let's take a moment away from the thrilling action, and let's talk about release schedules.
I was also thinking, though, like, somebody brought up a good point that would unify the entire fandom for a week. Because that's a big problem, too, is that there's this division between people that are first members and people that, like, are public only. And so I feel like that would be fun, because at least then the fandom would all be able to speculate together for a week instead of the public people constantly being a week behind.
But that's... Well... I mean, no,
the public
people would still be a week behind,
but
so functionally for them.
Episode, public break. Episode, public break.
So in that second part of the week, the 2-week cycle, everyone would be in the same boat.
But you would still have like 5 days where everyone would be in the same boat. So I kind of like that. I don't know.
I don't know, man.
Let's talk about stuff.
That's literally what you're doing right now. Like,
I don't know, guys. Like I said, we're here. We're not going to be streaming for like literally until October. I'll talk about whatever I want. So we're basically finishing anyway. Oh god. And so yeah, the fight was great. Like Chef's Kiss, the Winter and Cinder fight were really, really good. I really enjoyed that. But yeah, then we have Jean and Weiss, obviously, so they're trying to help each other go through, and then Winter obviously.
He throws his shield, which I thought was a really interesting idea. I also feel like with RWBY, there's always this deep personal attachment to their weapons, so the fact that everyone's losing their weapons...
Like throwing the sword and losing their weapons.
Like, watching it gave me anxiety, because I was like, pick up your weapon! Pick up your weapon! Like,
I know, but they won't... They won't But yeah, and so I really liked this. Again, you have the evil eye down there. I think that this was great.
I feel like that evil eye attack is pretty OP, and that
I really like it though.
Cinder should definitely have used it more often.
But look at how panicked Winter is, and how like fearful she is, right?
Yeah.
And Cinder's about to like boom them both. So I think what happened here is I think that because John had more aura, he was more resilient, he was more protected, but whereas Weiss fell into the void because she had already lost her aura, and then she was sort of like ragdoll physics into the void. And I really liked the scene with Winter like trying so desperately to fly closer towards her, and then her just poof.
Something that I noticed very interesting here is that last time when we saw Yang fall in, I thought that was her aura breaking because it has that yellow hue. Yeah. Now I'm thinking just everyone.
That's just
it's just gold when everyone
if that makes
pulls
sense.
through there. So I think it was smart that they did Yang first, because when they saw that yellow break, people assumed it was her aura, and she was like dead.
But it's just like fairy dust magic particle,
the show was just a wub, but not a wubby.
Exactly. And so then you see Winter's dialogue here in her breakdown was like
it's very good.
So good. Like it was so good.
The acting in this season volume has been phenomenal broadly.
Like Winter's acting though, like hit me. Like it hit me right here. So I feel like that was really, really good. Yes, Smash Bro rules. Weiss was at 300%. Exactly.
Smash Bros. Come on, let RWBY
Didn't Neo strike break Yang's aura? But that's not Hunter's point. Hunter's point is that because Yang fell first, everyone thought that had to do with Yang
aura.
like dying, because the aura broke when Neo hit her, but people thought that was her aura like evaporating, that like she literally like died, whereas now we know that that's just the particle color of when you fall through the void. That's what Hunter's saying. Can you say that with Miraculous and that big cliffhanger they gave us our emotional baggage? Oh sure, yeah. Oh god, I have 2 Miraculous videos to upload tomorrow. Do not even remind me.
It's also just like RWBY's over, and now, like, what else is there?
What else is there in life?
What else
There's
is
like
there in
My
life?
Hero Academia.
Oh, yeah.
Except My Hero is kind of mid, not gonna lie. I know that's an unpopular opinion, but My Hero...
It's not as high for me as RWBY is.
Sometimes My Hero Academia is amazing, and then sometimes it's just like any other anime, not gonna lie.
It's not as special.
Thank you, Harley, for the $10 super chat. What are your thoughts on Crow's semblance evolving to probability manipulation? He believed the charm would bring him luck, and it evolved his semblance to cover it. We talked about that earlier, but I completely agree. I think we called it the actualization of probability, or self-actualization, self-manifesting, if you will, right? Like Crow manifests the outcome. Vibes. That's Crow's
If you got bad vibes, bad things are gonna happen.
Can we
but
talk
if you got
about
those good vibes,
how our encoder has not broken for the entire stream like it
if
did
it
last
breaks
week?
right now, I'm gonna scream.
Oh god, we'll manifest it. Don't manifest it. And so I love this. And so the only thing that I have not criticism about per se, but like that Winter could have carried John and this could have been kind of avoided. But yeah, we have the rest of Attack on Titan. That's true. But Attack on Titan's ending this weekend, and so
also I
won't
haven't
come
watched
back
any
for a
of it,
while.
so
yeah, maybe Hunter should catch up, and then we'll do reactions together when it comes back.
Okay.
But I don't know. What about Black Clover? Everyone keeps talking about it, but isn't Black Clover an old show, or is that Black Butler that I'm thinking of?
Butler is an older show. Black Clover is like another shonen
Is it
jump
new?
anime. It's newish.
Oh, okay.
I've heard people describe it as like
because people
new...
keep telling me to react to it, but I'm like, I swear that this show is like 10 years old.
No, you're thinking
but
of
I'm
Black
confused.
Black Clover is probably only about 5 or 6 years old as a show.
Yeah, I don't know. But it's like, we need to go! And then she just leaves him! Right? Because I don't know if Cinder started closing it right there, but something bad was happening right
I get the impression that right around there is when she uses it, because it freezes time, so we wouldn't notice it. And only she would notice it.
Yeah, so see how it glows?
Yeah.
So she's starting to use it right now.
Yeah.
Right, so she realizes...
Or she just used it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she goes through, right? So I think that this is her... I think that everything shakes because Cinder froze time and just used the relic because it's glowing. So I think that it actually went, like, back in. If that makes
Imagine
sense,
if she
I don't know
fucked
how to
up and
explain
trapped
it.
herself.
I know, but she didn't. She's fine. So I think what happened was the shaking happened because Cinder had just used it, and then when we come back to Cinder, it's going back in the diamond. Thank you, Kirsten, for the $10 super chat. I'm finally tuned in. I'm sad. My heart is broken, and nothing has fully sunk in yet. I feel the exact same way. So now I will, ouch my heart. I'm in pain. Anyway, hi, how are y'all? We are great. We are well, we're not great. We're thriving like in the worst way possible.
We're thriving in the worst way possible.
So badly.
Is going to be the name of my debut album for a band that I don't have.
We're having a nice, funky, fresh stream. But that's the only thing that's funky fresh. I can't believe we've been streaming for 3 hours, but with all the detours I've had, I mean...
And we're only 14 minutes
But
in.
yeah, then the portals start to disappear, kind
Rainbow
of exactly
Road.
as we thought.
I also like how...
Yeah, so Winter...
Should have just picked him up to
Should've just
begin
picked
with.
up John!
Yeah.
But then she, to her defense, she does
Need
go
to-
back
yeah.
for him, right? Like, she does want to,
Turn
but
around.
she gets sucked in.
Yeah. Which is
So-
weird. Like, did
I
her
think she got
flying
too
have a
close
spin?
to it.
I guess
yeah.
so.
And so she couldn't, like, stop herself.
I also kind of find it sort of hilarious that Jean takes a dive and misses.
Well, he didn't miss. It went away as he dove, right? So he took a dive and then he fell.
It's like when a cat jumps but just doesn't quite make it to the other shelf.
Not RWBY related, but is Camp canceled? They're waiting for someone to fund
Pick it
Camp
up.
for
Yeah.
them. That's what's happening. But yeah, and so then you see Nora banging on the portal, and then you see the Happy Huntresses because Nora said, gather all the Huntresses you can, and you can actually see if you look closely that these are all Atlas Academy students.
Yeah.
So not only did, Nora went through because Jean told her, get all the Huntresses you can. Get the Happy Huntresses, every huntsman you can. And if you look closely, it's not just Happy Huntresses. You have May, Joanna, May, Fiona, Joanna, student.
Yes.
And I think maybe you even see Flint right there, like, because you see some blue stripe.
A little bit.
So maybe Flint's there too. I don't know. I can't tell.
It's a shame because I was a little concerned of, like, we didn't see a lot of Nyan Cat or Flint. And I mean, obviously they were never going to be big characters. But I was kind of looking and I was hoping that, like, they survived
you
at
see
least.
that Nora had gathered all of the huntsmen because there's Atlas Academy students here too, and she's banging on the portal because Jean was still inside and she couldn't go back in. I feel like that this is gonna fuck up Nora.
Oh, most definitely.
But at the same time, she's gonna take a leadership role. That's my theory about that.
What if she becomes the new, like, leader of Juniper?
I think that she will for temporarily, but I think she'll be more the leader of the Happy Huntresses temporarily.
Oh, sure.
I mean, like, obviously May and Joanna have known each other longer, so you think it would be one of them, but Nora will be the liaison leader for Team RWBY's side, if that makes sense. Like, because May was working with Team RWBY, so it won't necessarily be, I'm gonna boss around the Happy Huntresses, she's the RWBY role in the Happy Huntresses, if that makes sense.
Or, like, she'll have a seat at the table.
Yes, exactly. She'll be leading their faction, right? Blackbird Rose, thank you for the $14.99 super chat. Very Canadian, I'm assuming, because like Canadian, that's a Canadian currency, right? Anyway, so how do you guys think that Coco Yatsu will react to Emerald, considering what happened during the tournament? The tournament.
There we go.
I think that Coco will be girlfriends with Emerald. That's it. Okay.
That was my prediction, goddammit.
I know, but I agree with you.
I know.
I
I also had the idea that Ilya would show up and Ilya and Emerald would have a thing.
I think Emerald and Coco are gonna have a thing. That's it. I think that they'll be like, I could see even, like, being on the good guy side looks better on you, right? Like that sort of line from Coco. Yeah. I could see that sort of thing.
Some people are also saying Cell or Seal.
CL? CL's not there.
Everyone forgot about CL. Yeah. CL was a pretty minor character.
Nora, Oscar, Emerald, and Ren make Noir.
Ooh,
very nice.
I like that.
I like that too. Yes, Emerald and Oscar are also part of the team. Yeah, I forgot about them. Sorry. I forgot about them. So yeah, I think that Nora will lead them. Is basically what I'm saying. But
I also kind of want to know, like, what happens to, like, we have that suspicion that what's going to happen.
Hello? Okay. So somebody said, Cal, you're going to be disappointed? Why? Because Yatsu, like, Velvet is with Yatsuhashi. Coco's still a lesbian, and so is Emerald. So I don't
Also,
see, I
Coco
don't see
is
how
not
I can be
confirmed
disappointed.
with Yasuhashi. It's
No,
hinted,
yeah,
but it's not
no,
confirmed.
Velvet is with Yatsu is what I'm saying. If we're saying that we ship Coco and Emerald, Coco has no person. Like, Coco
Yeah.
has no other relationship.
Mhm.
Like, there's no reason why Coco should, what am I saying? There's no reason why you guys shouldn't think that Coco and Emerald will get together.
Yeah.
Other than the fact that Emerald was bad before. Like, there's no, like, sexuality confliction, I guess. Or, like, other romantic...
Geographic confliction
Exactly.
anymore either.
There's no, like, other romantic partner for Coco. They're hinting at Emerald Mercury? Maybe.
Maybe.
But...
Maybe.
Well, I don't care. I mean, I don't know. Like,
Are
who
they
knows?
though? I don't know. I always got more of like
Brother,
that she has.
sister?
I mean, she could be bi or pan or something, but I get the impression that she likes girls.
Yeah.
So the idea of like when you think about like who's another strong woman?
Fox? Why are we saying Fox? Nobody's with Fox. Neo will be with Fox. No. Yeah.
Fox needs someone. You know
What
what?
about Velvet?
Fox and
Velvet's
Neo-
with Yasuhashi, guys.
Fox and Neo, neither of them talk, and they're both pretty sassy. I could honestly see it work.
Fox and Neo. Wait, so Val and Yasuhashi are canon? Kinda. They're kinda
Not
canon.
No, that's Cal.
The
There is
book
little
said
sprinkling.
that Yasuhashi would do anything for her, and he started to blush or some shit. So Yasuhashi at least is in love with Velvet. And we're pretty sure that Velvet returns the feelings. So it's not confirmed, but it's like in a Ren and Nora territory, I would argue. That's my argument.
Sure.
We'll have to see how they function in the show, right?
Yeah.
If only Weiss didn't say one way, yes,
Yeah.
Julio. Thank you for the $5 super chat, but it's so sad. Fox is giving Ace, yeah, like, Fox and Coco are not together. Coco is a lesbian, please.
Okay, I feel like we're ignoring the perfectly fine ship of Emerald and Ilya.
Well, Ilia's not here!
I know Ilya's not there, but she's on her way.
But yeah, Fox and Neo to the moon.
Okay.
Exactly, I agree.
Also, I'm saying, like, she has a history for, like, sassy, domineering women, and, like, Coco's right there.
Sun comments that Velvet and Yasuhashi are always together. I will die on the hill of Velvet and Yasuhashi.
I'm very
You guys
pro
don't understand. I am
Velvet and
so...
Yasuhashi.
They're, like, my number one ship in, like, the world is Velvet and Yasuhashi. Like, there is no other ship that, like, I love more. If they don't get together, I'll genuinely be sad. I'll genuinely be
I've read a lot of
sad.
Coco Velvet fanfiction back in the day.
I know,
so
but
that,
Velvet is not with Coco
I know.
So I'll be genuinely, like, heartbroken if Coco and Velvet, if Velvet and Yasuhashi don't get together. And a little heartbroken, maybe, if Coco, doesn't get
I agree.
Emerald.
Velvet and Coco is a lot
I
cuter.
don't care. You guys just need to be there. If you haven't read the books, you don't understand how wholesome
I liked Velvet and
Yasuhashi
Yasuhashi a lot. I will admit that they had a wonderful thing going on there. Emerald x Coco green tea.
That's so
funny.
cute. Hi, you all right? I don't know where you are, but somebody's saying hi. I can't see him. Okay. Why are we lagging?
Again.
No, we're not frozen. It's just
we've been going for 3 hours, that's why.
It's just Chrome,
it's
or not Chrome, it's Firefox. Yeah, I don't see where you all right is in the chat, but like if he's here, hi. I like him a lot. So yeah. Anyway, Velvet x Yasuhashi supremacy, okay? No offense to the Coco and Velvet shippers, but like I'll literally cry if they don't become canon. Yeah, there's also Carmen, but Carmen's still kind of bad, so I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, this was pretty cool.
We freaked the fuck out because we thought it was gonna be Star and
Team Coffee, but I told you, I was like, no, winter's coming through.
I
They
love
said
the
a
crowd
man can
shots
handle
too
it.
because we see like the drunk guy and the racist asshole and like I don't think Fox Lady's there.
And it's also interesting too because like where is Nora? Because she was banging on the portal and now we don't see her. So
presumably still back at the portal. But...
Oscar and Emerald, no. Why are you guys like this? Anyway, and so I really like this scene too to see Klein, Whitley, and Willow. I'm glad to see it, and it's interesting too how like they had this I had this whole thing about Winter like being saved by her family because she's the last sort of piece that hasn't been included. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Weiss forgave Whitley, and Whitley forgave Weiss, and Whitley, like, you know, they all rebuilt their relationship in the Schnee house, except for Winter. Winter was the leftover. Yeah, like, Emerald's way too old for Oscar, guys. Like, what? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hello? Like, why are you guys like this? But yeah, like, Emerald is Oscar's big sister. That's the only interpretation that there should be, right?
Big sister
like,
that smokes
Oscar's
pot
her little
and that
brother.
mom is a little disappointed.
Yeah, exactly. And so, anyway, I got distracted. So I think that what's going to happen with Winter is her rebuilding her family relations without Weiss. Because that's the thing, is that she only kept in contact, it's assumed, with Weiss. Now Weiss is gone, but the rest of her family is here. So I feel like that'll be Winter's new character arc, is like her coping and like rebuilding with her family.
I agree with that, more or less. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think. And so yeah, I think that like they'll go back, like, you know what I mean? Like, Winter will fit back within the family unit, and then they'll all be a family again for when Weiss returns.
Yes.
I think that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, that's basically it. Anyway, and so, the Grimm. And so, Winter's about to take all of her rage and heartbreak out on this Grimm, and I think that that's actually great.
I kind of would love to see a scene in volume, what are we on, 9?
Yeah.
Where she just, like, destroys people. I think that would be really fascinating.
Yeah.
Or just a really good action.
And I love this. I love just seeing her, like, she's about to fuck up those Grimm. Guys, don't fight about Rose Garden in the chat. Rose Garden is not the same as Emerald X Oscar. Like, there are levels to this. But anyway, do you think there will be a time skip for the ones that fell? We do want to talk about that in, like, its own actual video, but we're sort of thinking, like, it'll either be one of 3, I mean, I guess it can only be 1 or 3 things. It'll be succinct, like, it'll be synced up, so Team RWBY comes back, the same amount of time goes in both halves, or what we were sort of thinking was a lot of time will pass for Nora and co, like a couple months, but it'll only be like a day for Team RWBY, like something like that, because we don't want like Nora and them to get too old. We don't want it to be like years and years, right? But I'm sort of thinking that they'll be in this magical land, say for like a week, but for Nora and co, it'll be like 4 months, or maybe it'll even be the reverse, where like
it's 4 months for them.
It's 4 months for them, but then they pop out and it's been like only 2 days.
I don't know.
I think that makes more sense, and here's why. Salem's not gonna wait around to attack Vacuo for Team RWBY to come back. So to me, it makes more sense that the duration of time in between should be how long it would take for Salem to remobilize. So for example, say that Team RWBY is in the Void, or whatever, the New World, for like 4 months in Remnant time. That doesn't make sense to me, because it's not going to take 4 months for Salem to go attack Vacuo.
Yeah.
She already has Mercury and Tyrion in Vacuo. So for me, what I actually think should happen is that like Team Juniper needs to go without RWBY for like maybe 2 or 3 weeks, because that's the most I could see Salem going back to her castle, making a plan, making some Grimm, and remobilizing. And so for RWBY, I feel like the duration could be, sure, it could be years. They're in the world for years, but I think that at the maximum, the outside world time should be only 3 months. Whether it's 1 day or whether it's 3 years on the bad world time, we'll decide that later.
I don't know. I do think I prefer the concurrent thing, because then maybe we could switch from
She has a staff of creation, exactly, so she's not gonna wait around.
Yeah.
And so I feel like the only thing that makes sense to me is more time passing in the relic realm or whatever in the other world, whereas on the surface you can only have so many days go by, right? So I think that it'll be something like that if there's a time difference. I don't think there really needs to be a time difference that much.
No, because like you could have a week, and Salem could take a week, and it could take them a week to get
exactly, right? And so that would be fine in my opinion. But yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's talk about Ironwood. So this was so funny. I don't know why Cinder left them alive, but I think that Cinder was about to kill him, but then Salem, like, interrupted her. I love how she just comes down the hatch, too. She didn't go up the hole that Oscar went in. She just comes this way. And I'm like, hello, Genlock. Does this remind anyone else of Genlock? The smoke from Genlock? But yeah, I wonder what Cinder created. We'll talk about that. But I think she created something to kill Watts.
like a
I'm pretty
fire
sure.
bomb or an
Exactly.
explosion or whatever.
I think that's what she says, or that's at least what it was hinted at her doing. So I failed you again, Master. They used the staff to save thousands. Before our allies fell, Neapolitan killed Ruby. So here's the thing about this. I think that what Cinder is doing is that she is pretending. Did I say Ruby or Cinder? What Cinder is doing is she's just pretending. She's just like, I failed you, Master.
We brought that earlier.
Right? And so we brought that up earlier.
That she's just pretending to be what people want.
And I feel like that her lies will probably get her in trouble, right?
Certainly, because like Neo and Ruby are coming back.
So, yeah. So, I mean, it did say Ruby and her teammates fell. So that could be like, Cinder could be like, well, I thought she killed Ruby. I guess not. And I feel like that Salem won't care. Like, I feel like that Salem may care a little bit for her using the last question, but like, I feel like ultimately Cinder could have gotten away with this lie. Because Ruby's gonna be like, no, Cinder used the last question. Like, what is she gonna do? Tell on her? Like, I feel like Salem doesn't care about Team Ruby. She only cares about Ruby for Silver-Eyed purposes, but otherwise she doesn't give a fuck about Team Ruby. You know? So, yeah.
I feel like Salem would be pissed if Cinder, if she finds out that Cinder killed bots.
I think so. That would make her mad. Yeah. I don't think that this lie about Team Ruby would. In the order, it would be Watts, Relic, using the last question, then Team Ruby. That's the order. Salem knows she's lying. I mean, I think so.
Maybe.
But I don't think she cares right now. It could
be the thing where Salem's always in control, like she knows. It's like a little kid lying to you and they do it really poorly.
I think that Salem ultimately knows, but she doesn't care. Right? Like, why would she care? She has both of the relics, so it doesn't matter if Cinder lies to her or not. She probably wants to appease her for now. Yeah, she wants a Silver-Eyed Warrior, but I'm saying she doesn't care about Team Ruby, as in, god damn it, Team Ruby foiled me again. Like, she doesn't care about Team Ruby. So, she only cares about Ruby for the Silver-Eyed sake, but she won't be like, Cinder, how dare you not kill Team Ruby? Like, she doesn't give a fuck. She has the Relic of Creation. I don't think she gives a fuck at all, right? But yeah, and so I really like this.
Look at her like puppy dog eyes, though.
And so, see,
I can't stay mad at you, Cinder.
I think that this is a look of recognition that Cinder is kind of being like, I couldn't put the relics in jeopardy now, could I? Like, I think she knows what she's trying to do, but I think that's sneaky. Fine. But yeah, and so I like this because she's trying to grovel, but she's fake groveling, right? She's putting herself down so Salem will be appeased, I guess, right? And then she gives the relics. In pursuit of a new world, no cost is too great. You've done well, right? So she says she's done well, and she kind of looks at it impressed anyway. I wonder, I have a bad idea. Could Salem try to use magic on Jin? Because yes, Jin doesn't have any more questions left.
I don't know.
But do you think that Salem could, like, not torture her, but like...
I don't think so.
You know what I mean?
I know what you're going. I feel like Jin is like an all-powerful being.
I know that. But do you think that something could go down with that? Because, like, sure, nobody's probably thought to fight the fucking relics, and they were made by the God of Light, but ultimately, Salem is a remnant from the old world. Like, she has the most power from the old world that came from the gods as anyone else. So I wonder if she could, like, do something to Jin that's very not nice, or, like, somehow do something bad to the relics to break their limits.
I mean, potentially.
Almost like Grimify. Like, what if you dipped a relic in the darkness pool? I don't know if it's still around anymore, but what if you did? What happens, right?
Yeah.
What about Ambrosius? Kind of the same thing, right? I mean, she can activate Ambrosius too, I think. Salem's been alive for thousands of years. Of course, she knows Cinder's trying to pull the wool over her eyes, but Cinder's still useful. Exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. Jin fighting would be funky fresh. Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I wonder if if Salem could do bad things to the lamp.
Maybe. Right? I don't know. But that kind of ruins the whole thing of there only being a certain amount of...
I know that, but she could torture Jin to get, like, at least one. At least one out of her, an extra one out of her. Put them in the pool? Yeah, exactly. I'm sure Jin could, scamper off to the lamp and dare Salem to damage something made by the fucking God of Light. But what's the God of Light gonna do? The God of Light's the one who made her immortal, and so it's not like the God of Light's gonna come come back and be like, to punish you, I'm taking away your immortality. That was the punishment in the first place. No one can punish Salem because the punishment didn't work. And if the gods came back and took that punishment away so she would finally die, that's exactly what she wants. So there's literally nothing the relics could do to her if she tried to do something bad. There's literally nothing. Anyway.
Other than, alternatively, you could ask, like, hey, can you put an impenetrable box around... I feel like the Staff of Creation is kind of one of those things that if you really think about it, like, oh, you could, like, think of all different kinds of exploits.
And Salem's been alive to think of them all.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm just saying, like, you could say, like, build a giant anvil over Vacuo, or, like, have a giant inescapable box.
But I don't think that it can be used to, like, kill people explicitly.
Oh, I guess so.
Like, I think it could be used to kill people implicitly, like how Cinder created more fire that inadvertently killed Watts. But I don't think that you could use it to, like, straight up just kill people.
But then if she did that with the fire, then what's, like, to say, like, Olive Vacuo's on fire now, please?
Yeah, like, something like that. She could do something. Yeah, she knows all the bugs, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
We had an old theory that Atlas would fall and that Team RWBY would come over to Vacuo, and by the time they got to Vacuo will have already fallen.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen.
But do you think a similar thing could happen, that by the time they get out of, like, the Upside Down world...
There's already war going on?
Yeah, everything's already to shit?
I don't know, maybe. It depends. It's just because of the timeline of the books, like, I don't know how that would work. But yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's true. The books do kind of throw a wrench in that.
And so, yeah, the books are the only thing, right? And so it'd be funny if Team RWBY came out and then, like, they just see Mercury fighting against Team Coffee and that's like, hey, guys! And so, yeah, that was...
We thought you were dead!
Did we say rip to Velvet's dad? Guys, that was not Velvet's dad. I am telling you, there is no way that low-level, like, man... Guys, Velvet's dad was like Pietro. Did any of those little lackeys, those minimum wage Atlas government workers, did they look, I mean, if it's Atlas could do something like that. I mean, anyway. But here's my point. My point is that there's absolutely no way that that was Velvet's dad. It was not. Like, Velvet's dad was as high up as Pietro and Watts. Moving on. You said they used the staff. I assume you rid the world of their creation. Yeah, so, you know, she did. What did you create in its stead? And so, what's funny is that these flames are from... So this must have been somewhat premeditated, because Cinder put these flames in before she left as she was fighting with Watts and stuff. Yeah. Right? Like, as she was fighting or killing the people. I think if we go with...
fighting with Watts? What did you
Not
say?
with Watts. Fighting, like, with killing all those people in the room. There were flames because of the fight. So I wonder if this was premeditated for her to use fire on purpose so she could do this accelerant thing later. Harley, thank you for the $5 super chat. If we go with I Think You All Right's theory, the relic spirits are the leaders from the armies in the Lost Fable. That's kind of interesting. I never thought of that. I'll have to look at the leaders from the armies again. Because I don't remember what they looked like. That's kind of cool. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe magic can affect them. That's what I'm sort of thinking, is magic could somehow affect the relics. Especially because magic came from the gods and so did the relics. Thank you, Lady Blackwing, for the $5 super chat. I wonder if Salem will try to magically melt the relics together, making a relic with the ability to create anything with the knowledge to do so. I think that sounds pretty cool. I would love to see her at least experiment with the relic. I would love to see her try to melt it and try to do this and try to put grim goop on it. Like, I would see her at least try to corrupt the relics. I think that would be fun. F for Watts, yeah, Watts is dead. Ironwood isn't dead. Calling it right down, no.
Well, I could see maybe Watts surviving somehow, because last we see him, he's still, like, trying to get out.
Yeah.
But Ironwood, I think, is heavily implied.
People think Theodore alludes to Dorothy, but we'll see what he alludes to. I'm kind of not convinced, per se. We don't really know.
That waits to be seen.
But yeah, this is so sad, because I guess what happened... Like, you see the flames, but I don't quite understand what happened here. I think that the fire is engulfing the Atlas building, and Watts got stuck, and Cinder never came back.
I just, like, the music and the performance, you get the impression that, like, this is...
I'm so sad.
This is Cinder revealing her big Machiavellian master plan of how she twisted the knife.
And so I feel like she set the fires on purpose to later use them.
I don't know. It's an amazing scene, though.
Oscar is Dorothy? Well, no. Like, I mean, I think that Theodore is most likely Dorothy. Oscar is like Ozma from the book, which was a little kid from the book. He's not Dorothy.
Doesn't Ozma turn into a woman?
Yes. Anyways, there's a lot.
Just saying, guys.
Can we pour one out for Watts? Yeah, like, okay, guys, I'm gonna talk about Theodore really quick. He has ruby jeweled weapons, and that's why people think that he's Dorothy. But who had the ruby jeweled weapons before Dorothy did? The Wicked Witch of the East, right? And so, like, it's kind of unclear what exactly he is, because yes, he could be Dorothy for that reason, but think about who had the shoes in the first place. The Wicked Witch of the East had the shoes, and that's really the only character that's unaccounted for, because when you think about it, we have the Scarecrow is Crow, so Theodore probably won't be the Scarecrow. If you think of Dorothy, a lot of people think that's supposed to be Summer or Ruby. So Theodore is probably either Dorothy or he could be the Wicked Witch of the East. Like, he also has a cape that's like a storm or something. That's like blue like the storm. And so that's why I'm sort of thinking... Wow,
you really put a lot of passages in that book to memory.
I'm just saying. So, like, I'm thinking that maybe it could be either or. It's a toss-up, basically. I'm not saying he's not Dorothy, but a lot of people are using the shoes without forgetting where the shoes came from. His name is Dorothy backwards? That's not exactly how Theodore works. I understand what you guys are saying, like Dorothy, the male version of Theodore is Dorothy, right? Like, and then there's a bunch of, like, Roosevelt stuff in The Wizard of Oz, right? Like, I know, but yeah. No, Lionheart's a cowardly lion, guys. Guys, don't overthink it. He's either Dorothy or he's the Wicked Witch. No, the Wicked Witch of the West is Salem, though. Because she's the Wicked Witch of the West. The Wicked Witch of the East is the one that gets the house fallen on her.
Anyways, we already went through enough fucking...
anyways.
Cal's minutia sidetrack, everyone.
I mean... Listen, like I said, Hunter.
No, I dig it. No, I do dig it. I do like the kind of fairy tale alliterations or fairy tale references that they make in RWBY.
Yeah.
I feel like I was watching...
Yeah, Salem's the Wicked Witch of the West. Yeah.
Yes, and I feel like knowing that there was like the nice like Glinda, and there was the Scarecrow, and there was the Tin Man, and then Ozpin, who was Oz. I don't know why I was so shocked when they revealed Salem at the end of Volume 3, but at the time it should have been obvious to me that, like, it was the witch. So the fact that it's
Salem
Dorothy
Rapunzel? No. Like, guys, no one character is one fairy tale. Like, there's overlapping elements, but Salem's not Rapunzel exactly, explicitly. They've confirmed she's Wicked Witch of the East. Or, sorry,
West.
Wicked Witch of the West. No fairy tale discourse. Do you guys realize this volume had 0 new characters? I guess. Ambrosius was new!
Ambrosius.
God.
Crimson. Everyone's favorite.
Cinderella.
Mole Boy. I mean, come on.
No, he was in last volume, wasn't he?
He was in last volume?
No, maybe he was in this volume. Yeah.
Mole Boy.
Yeah.
You got frickin'...
Yeah, you deserve
Fox
this,
Girl.
Arthur. I feel so bad for Watts. I don't really have anything else to say. I want to do like a video essay. Where did they confirm that? I don't know. Wherever they confirm anything. Wherever they confirm that Weiss is Snow White. Like, I don't know. They just said it.
Heard it through the grapevine.
You could probably find a source like on the wiki, but the wiki has all of the fairy tale interpretations and the sources. So that's a y'all thing that y'all can look up. The Hound, that is true.
Shovel Mom.
That is true. Rhodes.
In
the Stat family. Yeah.
They have plenty of new characters. No major
But yeah, poor Watts. I want to do a video analysis on Watts. I don't know if you guys remember this, but I used to do this video style where it was like scripted with my little emote thingy. With my little avatar, I'm trying to say, and like I haven't done one for a while, and so I kind of want to do a Watts villain analysis now that he's like done, but I think Watts was like the GOAT. He was the GOAT.
Yeah, he was a good villain.
Yeah.
Fun while it lasted.
And it's crazy that he's trying to like, he's dying of smoke inhalation and he's just trying to break free.
That's a horrific way to go, too.
But yeah, Watts is dead. There's no way he's alive.
I mean, he looks like he's escaping. Like, what if he did escape and...
No.
Okay.
Alice literally drowned. Salem would have to get him for him to live, right?
I guess so.
Because Alice got covered in water anyway. Even if he did escape, where would he go?
I guess that's true.
Unless Pietro literally picked up this man. There's no way. Plot twist, Salem is the Wicked Witch of the East, and this whole time her weakness has been falling out from the Midwest. Oh dear, thank you Blackwood Rose for the $4.99 super chat. But yeah, that's basically what I'm saying is that Watts was amazing. Watts was a good character. He was one of the best villains in the show, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
And so I think he's dead. There's no reason for him to be in any other arc. There's no reason for him to come over to Vacuo.
No. I like that this man's lining up a shot and just doesn't take it. Like what, you're at a fight, bud?
Well, I guess a little bit. Well, they fly away after, so he can't shoot her, right? Mm-hmm. Is Pietro still alive? I don't know. See, okay, here's what I need from the writing team. I need them to confirm the deaths that they meant to be explicitly clear. Because there is still debate over whether or not Hazel actually died.
Well, there's debate over Hazel not dying because people are neurotic.
People are supposed to think that Maria and Pietro are dead. They need to tell us because no one picked up on that. Like, no one thought they were dead. Yeah. And so it's a hard line, right? Because basically what I'm saying is that if they meant for the audience to know that a character is supposed to be dead and we didn't realize, they should tell us. Yeah. However, if it's supposed to be left ambiguous, obviously they won't. Like, Pietro and Maria, I think, is supposed to be ambiguous in a way where they never tell us. We just see them come back. But if they intended, if they meant for it to get across, now that the volume's over, I feel like the writing team should really confirm if they meant to be like, yeah, Hazel's dead. Mm-hmm. You know? Because obviously, don't tell us spoilers, but when Roman died, they confirmed that Roman was dead because there was no allusion, whereas with Cinder, they said no spoiler questions, right? So it was pretty, like, obvious either way. And so what I'm saying is that maybe what I would like is the writers to make, like, a Twitter thread and be like, yes, guys, these are the list of dead characters.
I don't know. I feel like most people are able to... It's only for the very neurotic or the people who very obviously
I feel like I need that, too, because I'm like, were we... Like, am I just stupid? Were we supposed to think that Pietro and Maria died?
I don't think we were, though.
But what if we were and they need to tell us
Well, then
now?
they just did a poor job of it.
Well, that's what I'm saying, Hunter.
But
and so
I feel like they didn't do a poor job about
it.
Hazel, Ironwood, and Watts.
I understand what you mean, as in, we should be able to figure that out for ourselves. But I'm saying, like, if they see that there is explicitly an issue of misunderstanding, I think that they should clarify. Because, what if you're saying, like, oh, Pietro and Maria aren't dead, but they were like, actually, we did intend it for you guys to think that they're dead. That's our bad. That's what I'm sort of saying, right?
Yeah, okay. No, I see that.
So yeah, that's all I'm saying is that I think that they should confirm officially who's dead or not dead, just for our benefit, because I feel like they did that with Roman, so I don't see why if Ironwood truly is dead or Watts truly is. Ironwood's not dead. No, he's dead, right? Yeah, they said Clover was dead. I think they confirmed he was dead as well, and so I hope that they confirm everyone who's dead, because I truly think that Ironwood and Watts are dead, but like, every death has been so vague in the volume a little bit, like, Jacques just disappeared, we didn't see his body.
I mean, Jacques and Hazel both got, evaporated.
Yeah.
So...
But here I think it's pretty clear that if Ironwood was in the vault, he got crushed, and if he didn't get crushed, he just got flooded on anyway. So... I think ultimately...
So he either dies in the crash or he dies...
they're dead either way. Yeah. Like, Watts is dead either way, right?
This scene killed me, especially...
Same applies to Vine. I mean, I don't think that there's any way that Vine is alive. Like, there's just no way. So I don't think that the same applies to Vine at all. The only unclear deaths, in my opinion, are, like, what happened to Maria and Pietro, if they were intended to be perceived as dead, Hazel, and then maybe... Watts, because Watts is trying to break out, but I feel like that was really clear that he was supposed to be dead, so yeah, I feel like that they should just tell us. Still never explained Ironwood's semblance. I don't think that they needed to really talk about it at all. Like, I don't think that they needed to talk about Ironwood's semblance. I don't think he survived, guys. See, that's the problem, is that people are saying Ironwood's alive, Hunter. So,
well, listen, you can't fix people that can't pick up visual language.
And so I'm saying, like, see, people still think Ironwood's alive, so they need to confirm that he's dead.
Okay, well.
Yeah, see, they're saying that Ironwood and Watts' death is too vague for them. Finally trim down the character count and they decide to keep the Aesops around while we're in Vacuo. Yeah, that's what I'm worried about, you all right? But I'm sort of wondering if maybe the Aesops could, like, go to Argus instead of going to Vacuo.
And I'm thinking maybe in Argus they might find where Pietro and Maria went.
Yeah, because maybe what they could do is, like, Robin could drop off like the Aesops in Argus, and then they could like help with the military stuff. Because like I think the whole point, in a sense, was defection from the military. But at least like I could also see that the point was defection from Ironwood and his ideals, but not the military. Like maybe they'll go and rebuild the military as people who help people instead of like fascist dictators, right? And so they could go to Argus and like, you know, not take over the military there, but like help out the military there. Yeah. And so I think that you all right, there's still a way for them to get rid of the Aesops in terms of like the character juggling. I think that they could drop off them in Argus, and then Robin and Crow would fly to Vacuo. I think that that's like a perfectly reasonable thing to assume. Because I think that ultimately the Aesops do not have any stake in the fight against Salem. They only cared about Atlas, and Atlas is gone. And yes, the people of Atlas are in Vacuo, but they could be better served in other places of the world, helping to rebuild other places. Like, what if they go to Vale? Like, that could be better, too.
Yeah.
Right? So I feel like that, I wouldn't worry about that too much, because I feel like that they know. Like, they know that there's cast.
The fact that he says Ruby Yang and you don't hear the voice and he just looks so panicked that my heart is breaking.
And I think that Crow's panicked just because, like, I don't think he'll assume that they're dead because they went through the portal. So he should be thinking, oh, they got to Vacuo. That's why my signal's not working. He's not thinking rationally, though. I
guess so. But I would still be nervous if I saw the world.
I agree. I just think that, like, because Winter told him and Robin about the plan with the portals. So I think he's calling them to make sure that they're okay, but at the same time, he doesn't get an answer. So he's like, are they okay? Did they get through? Are they in Vacuo, right? And so ultimately, I feel like that Robin and Crow will go to Vacuo to see what happened to Team RWBY, right? And so I feel like that's the reason why Robin's not freaking out, because she knows about the plan and the portals. Like, Crow is acting on emotion of, like, seeing the city overflow and not knowing if they got through or not. Whereas Robin is like, well, the Happy Huntresses, or I guess Winter told me that they would be going through the portal, so Team RWBY should be through the portal, we hope, right? That could be the thing. I also like the water here, like, was crazy. A lot of people are pointing out that this is very, like, Atlantis.
Yes.
Like, now
Atlas became Atlantis.
Yeah, and so I talked about, like, oh, they're gonna rebuild Atlas from the ground up, like, with the Aesops. Atlas is just no more.
Now it can be a lovely beachside resort.
Oh, God. But yeah, I think that
it's looking more like Rapture
we
from
had
BioShock
this theory
than
about, like, you know, the Aesops will stay and they'll rebuild Atlas, but I feel like Atlas is just, I know the Kingdom Hearts jokes are getting...
No, the Under the Sea.
Anyway, I feel like that our idea about the Atlas rebuilding was wrong. I feel like Atlas is just no longer a kingdom anymore.
Yeah, it's just wiped out entirely. At least in Vale, people are still there fighting, even if it's minimized.
What if Winter told him what happened? I mean, Winter was through the portal too, though, so that wouldn't really make sense. And they didn't have any connection in the portal, so yeah. And then we go through this was just for me. I was trying to get the names of the songs.
That's interesting, the Okay Good Night. That's not...
Yeah, that was Casey's song, and they put it in the Rhodes and Cinder fight. They just did that,
I remember that.
But yeah, so I guess now we're nearing the end of the stream. And I think that we should probably just talk about this and head right off. Go home and stuff. But yeah, so we have some ocean waves.
A lot of people are saying Madagascar.
Oh, God,
Also, do you know what's crazy? I just noticed, look at the size of those conch shells.
Yeah.
So, like, what if this is, like, a place where there's, like, crazy... Like, we already think it's magical, but what if there's, like, giant
crabs?
Giant monsters?
I wouldn't say monster, per se. They could just be big animals. Right? Do you remember... There was this thing I read once that the world had more oxygen when it began, and so there were, like, massive spiders and stuff just because everything got a bit more oxygen and grew really big. That's how I could see this. And see, Ruby's scythe in the ground is this.
Yeah.
But it's over here.
Yes, I also love
it's deeper.
the texture and the colors and the trees. They look so unlike anything RWBY has ever done. It really communicates the idea that this is like a mystical place.
Yeah, I really like it, and I can't wait to talk about it. Very Susical.
Yeah. Well. It does kind of have
like,
that
Horton,
wacky.
Here's a
yeah.
We got some curvy trees, right? Even the coloration is very Horton, Here's a
I feel like you've always wanted RWBY to have more saturated colors, and I feel like this is the most saturated RWBY has looked in a very long time.
Yeah, and I love this tree.
The tree, a lot of people think that's Yggdrasil.
I agree, and I think that if this is the tree that Sun saw in his vision, then I think that this could be the world before and the world, kind of like a world in between. Like, there's afterlife, but there's also not necessarily afterlife. It's also this is where semblances come from.
Yeah.
This is where the souls go into remnant.
Yeah, because the tree of life was supposed to be what holds up the universe. So what if this is the place where all magic comes from?
Exactly.
That holds up the universe?
All aura comes from, all semblance comes from, right? And so, oh god, beach episode, no. Yeah, so I think it's gonna be Wonderland, world tree, exactly. It's gonna be like Wonderland, it's gonna be like Neverland, because Neverland also has a tree, right? Like the tree that Peter Pan and his friends live in. I don't know what the word is anymore.
No doubt there's some very obscure Wizard of Oz stuff that you can do.
Exactly.
Like that upside down, river thing that I predicted earlier on. That
Convergence
was from
of Worlds, exactly. Like a couple... Yeah, like a couple
This
different
is giving
stuff.
me big... No one's going to get this reference, but the video game Tales of Symphonia is also about...
600 people here, no one's going to get it?
If anybody gets Tales of Symphonia, I'll be shocked. But it's it's a tree that, by killing the tree allows two worlds to come to one. Who knows? Maybe, Remnant will become whole.
Look for the rabbit hole at the tree. Stuff like that.
Yeah, do you see it? People are gonna. This is gonna be the most
disinfected screen. Not disinfected. Dissected screenshot. But yeah.
I honestly, I didn't notice the giant crabs the first time. So
well, I mean, it's just a big shell.
Yeah, but we're big shells.
Couldn't this be perspective too? I mean, I know that this one's far away, but couldn't this be if your head was lying on the ground?
I guess so, but that's too far away. That's bigger than the... That's going to be huge.
I don't know how to explain it, but couldn't that be at eye level?
Maybe.
More so?
I don't know.
What if RWBY's right here in the water? Ooh, what's this? Because that's a small shell.
Oh.
So...
What is that, though?
It's a shell.
Is it?
Or is it somebody's weapon? It looks like a shell to me. What could that be? What's this little
What if that's
gray
one
thing?
of the people that got yeeted over the side?
So yeah, you guys are asking what happened to the people that got yeeted.
Oh, that could be a shell. I see it because it's front facing and it's a shell.
People are asking what happened to the people that got yeeted over the side. You guys have to keep in mind it depends on how they got yeeted.
Yeah.
The people that got knocked off with Cinder's blast, I'm pretty sure that they're dead because if you think about it. It doesn't make sense for them to live because they have no aura, and so if you were a real person that got, in between, a bomb, you die.
True.
So I think that the people, there's two things. Hunter said that they could help the people get out of here.
Because I think thematically that would be interesting, because RWBY's about them fighting against authority figures.
Ultimately,
authority figures.
I think that those people died.
Yeah,
because if you get hit head on by a bomb and you're not a huntsman, that's a kills you thing. So they would die. Everyone had aura, but no, everyone in the world has aura, but not everyone has unlocked aura. So they would just die. If they just got explode, they'd die. And say they died and fell in the ocean, they drown.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I think it would be interesting if they found bodies.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Weiss had no aura for that last Cinder explosion, but that's different. She had no aura. And then she, she flung up. I don't know. It's hard to explain. Whereas those people were directly impacted by fire. They should be dead. There's no way that they should be alive by that. Even if that happened, they'd have a fucking heart attack. You know what I mean? They'd, have a heart attack from, the psychological aspect of being blown up and flying through the air.
But I'm not convinced
you have to keep in mind that Weiss is, a trained huntsman, and it's different. Whereas, if some old man got blown up by Cinder's bomb, she would literally have that old man would literally have a heart attack and die. Weiss is built different. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Weiss is built different.
Yeah, Yang's aura
It's that
was
Schnee
depleted
engineering.
too. their auras were depleted, but ultimately there's a difference between, like, depleted aura and, like, a civilian that has never thought before, like, going through the air a bunch of times and ultimately falling. So there could be some people that did survive. There could be a couple.
But they could all get eaten by giant crabs.
Like, what we're saying, guys, it's not that Team RWBY didn't fall without aura. Team RWBY fell without aura. What I'm saying is the people that got blown up died before they even fell. That's what I'm saying. I hope that that's a better way to explain it. Because I understand what you guys are saying in that, like, little confusion of, oh, Team RWBY died without aura, though, so what do you mean? I mean that they got hit with the bomb, they blew up, and died, and then they fell in. Do you guys know what I'm saying?
But that also raises the question, like, would Penny's corpse drop?
I don't know.
Maybe they find a dead Penny.
I thought, well, that would be fucking sad. But yeah, basically what I'm saying is the people that got blown up, they died before they could even fall in the first place. And so they're dead. They're dead. But yeah, there could be some people in there. But yeah, like Weiss's aura breaking and then falling. They were screaming as they fell. They were screaming because they were dying. That's what happens when you die, is you scream. Oh boy. But yeah, I think you guys get it. I mean, ultimately it could be interesting if there's some people there, but I wouldn't count on it, is what I'm saying. I like your theory of, like, oh, they have to help these people get out as well, but I wouldn't count on those people having actually
Truthfully,
lived
I almost agree with you that I don't.
I think it would be nice if this world was desolate without those people.
I do kind of like the idea of the weird spirits, like their doppelgangers coming around. I like the idea of it just being empty and they're fighting in this crazy wilderness.
Somebody was saying there's an actual rabbit hole in the tree. I'm assuming they mean this. It's kind of hard to tell,
though. It's hard to tell.
You can't see if that's just a clump of trees or if that's an actual opening in the
Because if you go up again there, like, when you look at that clump looks like the darkness that's over there, so it could be...
Yeah, like, there's still, like, the darkness over here. I don't think this is an actual, like, rabbit hole. I think that this is just trees, because these trees look the same.
Those leaves look like cotton candy. Like a green cotton candy.
It looks beautiful.
It's a really gorgeous shot. Nice. And it's so confusing and minimalistic. Yeah, I don't know. I really do. It's not as juicy as some of the other ones.
No, this is going to be the screenshot people talk about, though, for the next 5 months. I think it's juicy enough.
Yeah, no, I know. I mean, I don't think it's juicy. I mean, I think it's okay. It's juicy, but it's not, like, a lot going on.
Sure.
Like with that Yang thing when she has a dream and she discovers that she's related to Raven.
Yeah.
That had a lot going on.
Yeah.
But was it as juicy?
Yeah.
Or like when Raven comes back to Tai Yang.
Yeah, except that didn't become relevant.
That wasn't really relevant. This is very relevant.
But yeah, I just want it to be set in a new world and maybe for them to be unburdened by the people that fell in the hole. And yeah, like, I think that it's gonna be interesting, this new setting and this new world. Are we gonna get Neo and RWBY working together? I think so, but I think that we'll probably talk about that in its own video. So, to end off the stream, because I think that we're done. We liked the episode. It's been real. It's been fun.
Yes.
I think we've had a good
There's going to be a lot of videos about this volume and about our theories coming up.
I think that you guys should leave a list of videos that you want us to, like, cover in the chat. So if you want to cover, like, a Neo redemption or Neo
like
working with the team.
Or like a whole review of the thing or tier lists or all different things we can do.
Like, Neo redemption or... like Sejan's grief, like what this actually, like what this world will actually consist of. Like, if you guys have any ideas in that regard, make sure you either comment with them or put them in the chat as we are leaving, because we're leaving. We're going. I have to use the bathroom so bad, but I'm just like, let's wrap up this stream. All right, so yeah, that is basically it from us. Remember, again, you guys should leave, like, some theory videos and stuff, like, down below. I have my own ideas, obviously, but otherwise...
Ooh, someone says a Jabberwocky Grim Academy.
Yeah, that would be fun. I think it's going to be a funky, fresh, magical world. It's going to be a good time. It's been a ride, but yeah. I think we're pretty much done, and we will see you guys later. And I will check the chat after for what your suggestions were. Yes, we are doing a second Oscars. I'm going to be working on that tomorrow. So don't worry. I need to do the categories with Arnold tomorrow. So don't worry. Don't worry. But yeah, we will see you guys later. Oh, remember that you guys should join the Discord server. Again, like, you guys should click the link in the open the description. I'm telling you, I'm giving you explicit instructions so you can't ignore me. Open the description, click the Discord server, click the Patreon, and then after that, You guys can join the Discord. You guys can like see our reaction on Patreon, or you can become a YouTube membership member to see our reaction. And yeah, this is the longest stream we've ever done. It's insane, but yeah, we'll see you guys